Today on the Cooligans, in the first segment, we talk about our hero, Jermaine Jones. Retiring from soccer. Very, very sad day. Just losing that wild animal on the pitch. We loved him for the U.S. men's national team. Also, Sigi Schmidt, gone from LA Galaxy. And we try to figure out how important Zlatan is to the LA Galaxy or American soccer entirely.
In the second segment, we talk to Matt Besler. You know him. He's the center back for Sporting Kansas City. He calls into the show. We had a great conversation with him. You got to listen in. He talks a little bit about playing in a great city like Kansas City and the fan base there. He talks a little bit about men's national team and missing the World Cup. And just as important, we talk to him about what he's doing on, when his extra time. He's got this cool little clothing brand coming out. We like it, right? It sounds pretty cool. He gave us some great information about that.
And in the third segment, we talk about the U.S. against Brazil. We go over the game. Did we ever touch the ball? That's really the main concern. Also, NYCFC against DC United. And only one team clearly had the ball there. NYCFC is the Brazil of Major League Soccer. I think that's what we figured out. And we talk about a couple other games.
And we have a little bit of a Guerrero rant.
Ooh, a little bit. All this and more today on the Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Yo, yes. Yo, what's good? Hello, what's up, everybody?
Cut that one short because I almost died the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I don't even know why you are putting yourself in such danger.
Well, because I love the fans. And I want them to have the longest possible yell at the beginning of their podcast. This is what they come for. A lot of them turn it off.
They turn
after that.
They turn it on. It's like Wednesday morning. They got that shot of adrenaline, and they're like, you know what? I'm done with this show.
Yeah. I'll stop listening once that fat guy dies.
I don't need coffee because my eardrums are blown out. I'm deaf, so I can't listen to podcasts anymore.
Hello?
Welcome to the show, wherever you want. How are you doing, Alexis?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well.
All right. We never do that. That's kind of nice.
We don't ask each other how we've been.
Touch base a little bit. Right?
We haven't seen each other for...
Forget we're doing a podcast. How you been, man?
Pulled my hamstring.
Okay.
A little... I don't know if I pulled it or if it's just tight. I can't tell. It's just sore.
Well, this is like a pendulum because my heel is now... I'm like at, 95%?
Yes.
So it's like good enough for me.
Your heel gets injured from all the athletic activity that you participate in.
Comparably it is, and I don't think you understand that.
I don't know if you know what the word comparably means.
No, it does. I know exactly what it means. I was right about ombudsman.
That's right. Well, not ombudsman. It's ombudsman.
Ombudsman.
You said ombudsman right now. You just
said
I say
ombudsman.
Ombudsman. Okay.
I did not say that. No one said that. I don't even know how to spell the word, but I know the general spelling of the word.
Yes.
No, it's ombudsman.
Yes.
Budsman.
I'm glad. Look, I hadn't heard the word before.
Well then.
Well, look, it's just shocking to me.
Just two guys who learned English second.
It's just...
And apparently this one's the smarter one right
It's just a little shocking to me that there's a word that you know that I do not. Because that just doesn't seem like it can make any sense.
I probably know a couple. Like, I don't know, Brajola.
Okay. Oh, well, now you're speaking another language. Literally, right?
Literally.
Welcome to the Cooligans.
Or supersize me. I think that's something that you might not understand.
You were great in that. Welcome to show, everybody. We are the Cooligans. We are your favorite stand-up comedians that host a soccer podcast. It's not only the funniest soccer podcast.
It is the funniest soccer podcast.
Okay, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, nothing even comes close.
Yeah, there's not really... That's not us bragging.
No, I mean...
It's just that the bar is very low.
Well, also, we were looking for that, almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find it. So we started. And we are the funniest soccer podcast.
That's it. There was a vacancy?
Yeah. I mean, we're not on no soapbox. I mean, we're just looking at the stats. And, bruh, I'm the only one out here scoring. You know what I mean? So, the Cooligans, that's it.
It's Kobe's 81-point game out here.
Where is everybody?
Where's everybody?
I mean, other people bucking shots. They're trying. But we carrying the load, okay? But we're not just the funniest soccer podcast. We want, we definitively are. We're just not only that, because we also happen to be the gulliest soccer podcast.
Okay, multifaceted.
Who's messing up the language now?
All right.
Somebody said I sound like Steve-O.
Yeah, somebody did say that.
I don't hear it. I think I get a little raspy with the louder I get. And I think his voice is a lot
maybe,
like that.
after a long pizza tour. You get out here and
just yelling at people, fold your fucking slices or get off my tour.
I don't even want to see the reviews of your tour after speaking to people that way.
A lot of them are like super funny, lots of knowledge, couldn't stop yelling at my child. It's a lot of that. It legitimately is. Look it up on Yelp.
But sometimes your voice is more raspy than usual. When you talk for a living, and you don't stop, right? Even when you're not working.
I take my work home with me.
So I can see why that's the case.
Yeah. You know what? I've never learned how to speak from, what is that, the diaphragm?
Okay.
Thank God, right?
Touching the wrong part of your body.
Yeah. For those of you not watching on YouTube, my legs are in the air.
I'm like, no, I think it's your taint, Alexis. You need to
buddy. Don't try to talk from there at all. Anyway, so people, I can't believe you listen to this. Right now, we're not proving we're the funniest.
Yeah.
We're certainly the silliest soccer podcast.
Sure, we get that. Well, give us a couple minutes.
Well, we warm up. We eventually get to it. You're supposed to talk from what is it? Your chest, right? Your diaphragm.
Your diaphragm is like under your lungs over here, so it's a little lower. Yeah.
Hello, how are we? I'm supposed to speak like this.
Okay. Well, now you're just John Strong.
Well, no, John Strong speaks in a very direct and
yeah. He has. Sometimes I was talking to somebody who had listened to the John Strong interview.
I feel like he goes home and he's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ,
just I can relax a little bit.
I can really be myself."
But there's people like that. I was talking to somebody about it, but like you hear his voice, and there's certain people that were just you can't have any other job. You have you have that announcer voice. With John Strong,
he can be like, "Would you like fries with that?"
It's like he's like, "Hey man, you gotta get out of here. You can't do this job.
You're not allowed to work at this bank anymore, man. Go call soccer games.
All right, you're meant for so much more." You remember Dave Greek, comedian Dave Greek?
I don't. I remember the name.
Dave, a good friend of mine. But he worked in radio, but when I met him doing stand up, and he had stopped doing radio for a long time, but he was just like. His voice was just like, as soon as I was hearing, I'm like, this isn't your life, right? You don't do just this.
You can't possibly just do this.
So let's get going, guys. You're welcome to the show. We are here at the Hackensack Meridian Health Stage 17, crushing it per usual at the top of Madison Square Garden.
Right at the top, somewhere in the middle. You know how we do.
That's it. Okay. We're trying to look. We have to move up. Aspirational. You got to get out to the roof.
Right. If we at the top of the ladder, bro, we need a bigger ladder. Right. We're trying to climb.
We're getting there. So a lot has happened in soccer, right?
Let's talk about Gully Squad because I want to thank the fans.
Yes.
Yeah, let's start there. Dude, you guys are absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I mean that from the bottom of our hearts. We're trying to build this thing. We're trying to get bigger. And, we try to do a bunch of different stuff, and we try to see what works. And the one thing that is shown that works every time is the support of our fans. Man, You guys came out for the World Cup Comedy Tour. You guys have come out to our live events. You guys have stopped us when we're doing some of the EMLS stuff, and you've just been like, hey, man, big fans from all teams. It's absolutely amazing. Go to comedy clubs across the country, and people stop by in Ireland. Somewhat, come on. MLS Ireland took a bus, you know what I mean, to come see me.
Yeah.
A long-ass bus both ways. All those things, all those little things, like none of it is forgotten. Everything means something to us when you guys want to take a picture. We did this whole Gully Squad thing. We're like, is anyone other than, my mom and Jay Riddle going to join, And really, honestly, like we thought about it like, well, is this something that we can build on? And geez, you guys are just absolutely incredible. And we're getting really close to that second episode.
Yeah, that it means the world. And that's sort of the thing where the hope is like whenever, even since we've been doing comedy a long time, but you hope to get to a point where people are like, hey, I appreciate what you do, and I would like to see more of it, right?
Yeah.
And this is sort of been the Cooligans has been like sort of the first thing I know in my comedy career, where people are like they just acknowledge the work that we're putting in,
100%.
And are being like, hey, you know what? This is a thing that is helpful throughout the week. We get tweets all the time, like somebody tweeted out the other day, like it was like Monday. They were like, hey, can you put out your podcast already? Because I'm bored at work. Look, and the fact that we could help you out at work and help move your terrible terrible Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, we try. Middle of the week, right? We help you get over that hump day.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
maybe, and now we're trying to do it 2 times a week, right?
Yeah,
so then
hump twice a week. It's not a bad week.
That's a good week.
That's
You
not a bad week.
It's like, honey, we humped two times this
2
week.
times. Things are working out.
So, look, we're just trying to save your marriage.
That's what we're trying to do. Put us on while you hump. No, please don't do that.
Imagine, I mean, it's better than Boys to Men, I think.
Although we've come. And that's the end of the
Literally,
song.
yeah.
Now we asleep.
It's like, honey, no, it's supposed
all
to.
night.
We should go a little longer than that. I really.
Sorry. I was
I know.
thinking about you before we started. And here we are now. You know what you want to do? Netflix a little bit? Listening to Cooligans again?
So, thank you for everyone who's already joined the Gully Squad. It's gonna be great, and the fact that we're getting all this support, I mean, it's only gonna lead to bigger and bigger things. We're already, literally this week, we're talking about taking some trips to do some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
Possibly the Soccer Hall of Fame. Possibly some other maybe trips to do like. Maybe like games that are like USMNT games or USWNT games.
We're talking about a couple things. We want to get back out there. You know, you guys have asked us, from other cities. Yo, Christian, Alexis, when you coming here?
Yeah.
We're trying to get there, man. We really are.
So this
and the Gully Squad is what makes all of those things possible. Every time someone sponsors our show, it's something else that makes this all possible. Like, Christian said it last week, man. We'd love for this to be our full-time job. We know that that's not super close, but you guys, every time you support us, every time you retweet us, every time you join Gully Squad, every time you tell someone about who we are, that brings us one step closer.
Yeah, and some people have said like, hey, I want to support, but I can't really do it right now. I don't have the money, which is like not a big deal. Don't feel bad at all. Like really, the people who are supporting us will be supporting you. The people that can't, don't have the $5 a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind that if you can't give any money, no big deal. Just like you should tweet it out, share
retweet it, do what you can.
When we put out the podcast, share it out. So and people have done exactly that. And
they have. We see it all the time.
Means the world as well. So
and like I said, grab your friends' phones that aren't subscribed to us and hit that subscribe button. Leave a 5-star review from their phone, and maybe the next time a new episode comes up, they'll see it and they'll just listen to it. All those little things, man. All those little things. Absolutely massive.
I always talk about reviews, right?
Did we get a bad one?
No, we didn't. So this is, I wanted to mention this because I saw this a couple weeks ago, and we were on the World Cup Comedy Tour with Total Soccer Show,
right.
and we did a lot of crossover episodes, and a lot of people had heard about us through that show. And a lot of times when people leave reviews for us, they usually were pretty positive and pretty cool. Some are negative, which is fine too. Like, who cares? Some people don't like it.
Please don't do that. 5 stars every time. If you do, make sure it's negative about Christian. So the one guy who was really critical of you gave a 5-star review and then added it in there, but said, "I still love the show." That's perfect. That's
fine
exactly what we want.
We could deal with that. I did want to read a negative review, but this wasn't from our podcast. This was from Total Soccer Show. When we were on, I was like curious. I'm like, I wonder what people thought of
someone left a review on their
podcast about us.
Oh. Perfect. Which is what we knew was going to be the reaction.
Which is great. And this is from a.
Should we say the name? It's not.
It's not even a name. It says a number. It says 345-18-12, which I don't know. Whatever. You can put any name in there.
Thanks for putting your social security number.
So it's a 1-star review. And the title is Please, and then it just says no more Cooligans. Just that's it. Enough of them because we did this show twice.
Yeah.
We did a crossover individually, and then we did a full episode with all 4 of us on the podcast. And people had enough.
I mean, a lot of people were very positive about it. We saw a lot of it on Twitter.
Yeah, most.
Tons. But one dude was like, "Here's how I can make a change."
So, look, it made me laugh.
Who do you think left that review?
I mean, clearly Daryl.
Taylor or Daryl? Okay, good. All right, good. Daryl. Daryl was like, "Look, I know Taylor likes you guys. Here's a way to stop this."
Made me laugh a lot. I mean, look. What are we gonna do? We can't make everybody happy. That's usually a good time when you have people who don't like what you're doing. That's usually a pretty good sign. That means that it's reaching enough people that you're getting to some people that are like, "Hey, these two damn Latinos are not for me.
Look, I'm glad you exist, but there's a reason why I don't listen to you. Stop encroaching on what I listen to. I like someone like, there's two really funny reviews that are very short. One of them is from ATL Gouda.
Yeah.
Shouts to ATL Gouda. Gave us 5 stars. The subject title is Not Nearly Gully Enough. And then inside he wrote the words one and star, which is perfect.
There's so much contradiction.
I am very confused, but also very appreciative that when it counts, you gave us 5 stars. And then there's Frat Daddy 106.
Yeah.
Frat Daddy, you know he has kept that name for too long.
That's his AIM screen name.
Yeah, he signed up for iTunes way back in the day. And now he's like a dad. His kids are teenagers. And they're like, let me guess, you're on Frat Daddy right now? Frat Daddy 106. Put more episodes a week. And then he just went, weak beard, weak beard, weak beard.
Which is the chant.
Again, critical of you.
Yes, which is the chant that I hear when I walk down the street. I'm just like, I'm like on a, just with my girlfriend. I'm like, you don't have to yell that at me, okay? I'm really trying. Right, I'm trying my best.
Yeah. Although people yell that at me when I walk down the street with my wife, weak beard.
Because they don't like her beard?
My beard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Come on, get it? It was a joke.
All right. I thought it was like, I'm like, your wife doesn't have facial hair, to my knowledge.
No,
okay.
Huge beard. We shave it every day.
Yes, we talked. That was last week when we discussed my poor facial hair situation.
Does your barber charge you to buzz it off?
No.
He's like, this one's on me.
He gives me money back. Yeah.
He's like, in fact, we're gonna glue some of the hair that fell off onto your beard
because it's getting really embarrassing. So thank you. Make sure to go to iTunes, leave a review on the Cooligans. It helps us a lot. Helps more people know about the show. So it's always useful to us. So. All right, let's move on to some footy.
Yeah.
Let's start in Los Angeles because the West Coast is the best coast, as they say. I mean, we.
I don't say that.
Yeah, they say.
They say. Of course, they're gonna say that about themselves.
We don't say that. We're above Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
all right?
son. We're all the way at the top, right near the middle.
Right in the middle.
I mean, come on now.
But the Los Angeles Galaxy have lost.
Of Carson.
Of course. Yes, it's like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Yeah. So they are. That'd be so funny if they do that. The LAC, like
LAG.
No, LA. It doesn't matter.
All right, why are we
here? Sigi Schmidt resigns from the Los Angeles Galaxy. Obviously, we've been talking about them week after week because
he moves on to the bodega in the sky. He didn't die. He just quit.
You know what that means?
Dude, the dude was going to get fired anyway.
Yes, because week after week, I felt like the Galaxy found new ways to lose every single time. It was like every guy on the back line was like, you know what? I'll take it this week. I'll make sure I allow some ridiculous own goal. Or maybe I just won't make any real effort or just really act confused. Also, I'll make sure I collect my $400,000 check at the end of the season because we are the highest paid back line in Major League Soccer. So, look, obviously, this is going to result in somebody losing their job. It's been strange, and there's been a lot of articles about it. We have.
They are 3 points outside of the playoffs.
Yeah,
or at least the playoff line.
It might as well be the Grand Canyon.
They
like
are
those 3
getting
points.
Mizashed by Real Salt Lake. That's probably why he got fired. Did you hear that he
didn't get fired, by the way. He resigned.
His resignation was a collective decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, him plus the standings. Plus the fans, plus what everyone's saying.
But look, isn't when you resign? I don't know. Maybe they came to an agreement of like what money they'll like a severance of some kind. I don't know if that's the case. But isn't it if you keep the job and just get fired at the end of the season, you still get paid for the rest of your contract?
Not necessarily. There's usually clauses in there.
Okay.
That if you're let go, there's a certain amount there's some type of severance attached to it. Some people have guaranteed contracts, which means like we have enough confidence in you that we're going to pay you X amount, and if you get fired midway through, that's still your money.
Yeah.
And some people can go like someone like if a Jose Mourinho came here, he could negotiate that, because he knows he's a big name. He draws attention.
Okay, so MLS coaches don't really have that kind of negotiating power.
Caleb Porter ain't getting no guaranteed contract. That's not happening.
It's like an NFL contract.
Yeah,
we're going to give you $100 million, but right now we're just going to give you $250, and if you stub your toe, then really the contract is void.
Then are you even really a player anymore? So you need to keep up your end of the bargain. So if we fire you, we can't let you play football. Are you really playing football? Are you really a football player? You know what I mean? That's on you.
Exactly. Also, I'm right here because you have CTE. I'm not sending.
Also, do we need to remind you of your name every day or every week? Where are you at with concussions? Should your children play soccer instead of football? Probably.
Look, so there's a lot of discussion on why it happened. Why did he resign? There's 6 games remaining in the season.
Even though the last 6 games they've only taken 3 points.
These are a couple of the rumors I've heard. Did you see this? Zlatan Ibrahimovic apparently is reported to have an interest in Egypt. There's a team in Egypt that wants him to go there, and they've been very public about that. And it's a possibility that he might actually leave LA Galaxy before next season.
To go to Egypt.
To play in Egypt. That's what I heard. That was one of the rumors. So
I'm sure the money is astronomical. He's only making $1 million.
1.5, yeah.
1.5 here.
Yes, that's MLS, but Visa's taking care of him.
Yeah, Visa's like, no, not Egypt. How about right here? How about right the fuck here? How about SoCal United? How about you go play for them and you stay right here? But, look, the money is going to be great in Egypt, I'm sure. What happened to the whole I want to be, where the lights and the sun and the beaches, and what happened to all that?
I don't know if he necessarily wants to leave, but it's clear that there's other offers.
His agent's just trying to make another check.
Mino Raiola is his agent, right? So
Mino Raiola. That's a mean old areola.
So
I've seen some shit.
So that was one of the things I heard. So I saw that maybe last week, and then I was like, all right, well, Sigi's living now. Then maybe the concern from the Galaxy is like
Sigi goes to Egypt.
It all gets
and we figured it all out.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Get it? Pyramid scheme works too well. Come on.
So, but I saw that, and then now Zlatan's not happy. So clearly, LA, the Galaxy are trying to keep him there. So I think that had an influence, right? The fact that there's clearly interest from other teams.
But, like, if you're an LA Galaxy fan, do you even want Zlatan there? All he really does is run a little bit and jump for headers.
He already has, 13, 14 goals? Yes, you do want him there.
No, you don't.
Zlatan is not LA Galaxy's problem.
He's not getting better.
He's not going to.
No.
He's better than a lot of the players on the team. He's the best player on the team.
Brothers.
He's the best player on the team.
That's a bad thing. How old is he? 35?
35, 36, something
35,
like that.
Surgery on both knees. That guy's your best player?
Yeah,
you messed up.
LA Galaxy are bad. No one's defending that. Yeah, so, but the issue is that they need to keep him for the next 2 years. From a marketing standpoint, from a quality standpoint.
No, they don't. What they need to do.
Any other team in MLS would take Zlatan. Zlatan's not the problem.
Then let him go. Let him go to San Jose. Let him go elsewhere.
He's not the reason LA are bad.
What I'm trying to say is, who cares if he goes to Egypt? What you need to do is go back to what you were doing before. Their academy isn't all that good anymore. They're not developing players. Go back to doing what you were doing before. Go get the local kids. Dude, you've got a new neighbor who's doing everything at a much bigger level. You need to go find. You went out and got bum-ass Gio Dos Santos. They went out and got killing it every week Carlos Vela. You need to be smarter. Stop spending all this money on his backline. That's trash. You need to start from scratch. I don't know what happened. They were the worst team last year. Y'all couldn't even rebuild? Y'all were the worst, and this is what y'all came up with?
Yeah. It's a front office issue, right? They
don't even think they have a GM, do they?
They do have a GM. Chris something. I forgot his name.
No, I think he's the vice president. I don't think he's the GM.
I don't know. I don't know.
We should know these things. Again, this is, what do you mean no more Cooligans? This is why you show up.
So look, Sigi Smith was the manager. I don't know if he was the GM. I forgot. I don't know who the GM of LA Galaxy are. But there's clearly the foundation of LA Galaxy are bad, and they're getting surpassed very quickly by the other teams in the league. And I think they thought, oh, we get this big name, and that's always kind of been the strategy for LA for the last couple of years, especially after David Beckham. Let's get the big name,
They have no general manager.
Okay, so I mean, somebody's clearly doing the job of
They need to
getting...
hire someone. That's what they're talking about now.
Okay.
Yeah, what is it, Pete Vagenas?
Yes.
Right? That guy says they need to hire one. Chris Klein says they need to hire one. We'll go out and hire one. Yo, this is trash.
All right. Well, I guess was it Sigi Schmidt kind of deciding who the players were? I don't know if that was his role as well.
Apparently not.
Because he was the GM. He was a GM last year, right? And then he became coach.
Tim just said, "Yep, no GM." Come on, son, bang bang. That's why we got this guy.
What guy? Who are you talking about?
Tim. Okay.
I thought you were looking at MLS. Okay.
No.
So clearly there's a lot of issues. And look, I just disagree with Zlatan. He's a great player, and he still has a couple years left. And he doesn't. And he would be good on any other team.
No, you're lying to people.
I mean,
he's going to be injured half the season. Get rid of him. Send him to Egypt. Who cares?
Double-digit goals. The moment that he's provided against LAFC.
Moments of brilliance. Is having him on your team worth those moments of brilliance?
Who else is going to do it? No one else on the team is doing it.
Ola Kamara would have been better without him there.
He wasn't that great before Zlatan got there.
I think he's an over $1 million a year player. So what are we talking about?
Kamara was great in Columbus and not great in LA.
Last second. It was an awesome game. That's why you got Zlatan. He'll live in the infamy of MLS. Get rid of him.
Kamara wasn't lighting it up before Zlatan got there this year.
And that's not his fault. Yo, that's what I'm saying.
It's not his fault.
They're talking about Berhalter possibly coming in. That's one of the rumors.
That is one of the rumors.
But he wants complete control. Berhalter, I think, played for LA Galaxy, right?
Yes.
One, we know he's from Jersey, so he's going to be out there just being gully as hell, okay? And his system is automatic, and his system could be taught to the youth players. His team's going bye-bye. Now, hopefully not, right? But it looks like he's trying to possibly get away from that whole mess, right? That's happening up in Columbus. Yo, the homie's going to go to L.A. He's going to install his system. Giassi Zardes comes back, scores fucking 15, okay? Ola Kamara probably scored 32 with him there. And look what's going to happen. All the kids and the youth are going to have that system. Berhalter might be there forever if he doesn't go to the men's national team, which I'm pretty sure is still going to be Vermees.
Okay. So there's a lot of rumors flying around, right?
There's not. I just solved it all for you. Get rid of Zlatan.
I did want
to... Also, Zlatan with Berhalter's system legitimately would be an incredible
also
pair.
Now Zlatan would be good all of a sudden.
Yeah, he made Giassi Zardes a right back for all fuck's sake, a double-digit goal scorer.
Okay, so there were a lot of rumors. This one was probably one of my favorites because over the weekend we had the former Manchester United manager and Everton manager just hanging out in Jersey, taking trains in New York. People were texting me like, "Yo, guess who's on my train?" David Moyes.
Yeah.
David Moyes was out here in New York. Just I don't know, like. Harlem shaking.
Yeah.
He was out here
eating a chopped cheese, just like he was just doing his thing.
He was everywhere. He's like,
just
I'm going to Brick City next. I mean, I'm just trying to get a lay of the land.
I'm trying to hide out a little bit. DMs is getting too hot in New York.
I'm just saying, people after me out here. Okay?
Yo, what was it? Eric Keating.
Yeah.
Was like, hey, welcome to New York. He's like, I got a place out here. Like he was mad relaxed with it. He's like, I've been here before, dog.
Yeah. So David Moyes went to the U.S. Brazil game.
Yeah.
He also went to the NYCFC DC United game.
Yep.
So I could maybe say hello to Wayne. Hang out with him a little bit.
What up, Roan?
But the cool thing was that he took the train out there and then took the train back to his hotel or place.
He was like on the path.
He was on the path. He was on the 6 train.
Yeah, he took the 6 right next to J-Lo.
Okay, so David from the block was out here. And it was just so weird. Everyone just sending us photos like, yo, David Moyes here. Like all this,
everywhere. Yo, David Moyes at a McDonald's.
Okay.
Yo, David Moyes at this bodega.
We got eyes on these streets, David.
So we got shooters and watchers.
Okay, you can't walk around this city without us knowing about it.
He walks into a bodega, yells, "Ock." David Moyes out here. Yo, Ock, make that ham and cheese quick. Trying to catch that crosstown town bus.
Yeah, so
How's he not have an Uber? You're David Moyes.
Look,
Nobody sees you in an Uber, David.
No, I think it's great. He wants to be amongst the people. That's
He's
great.
part of the peoples. But, you know, this is the benefit of coming to New York or the U.S. If you're a, international sort of name in soccer. You're not going to get recognized by everybody.
Yeah, nobody really knows.
I mean, you get on the train with a bunch of people leaving a soccer game, people know who you are.
Exactly.
But if you're just regularly on the train, they're like, yo, who's this creepy dude that's all one tone? Just all
How's your hair and your skin the same color?
It's creeping people out. Sir, get off the train. Get some tan in you.
I know it's almost October, but man, slow down.
My dude, walk around a little bit. Maybe sit outside of Central Park, my guy. Also, don't open up that chopped cheese in here. We're all hungry.
So that was another rumor I heard of the list of possible LA Galaxy managers is about David Moyes. Why? That's like.
Yeah, I think he's gonna say no. You know why? There's no trains out there. You barely got a subway system.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit in traffic. I want
you want me to drive to Carson?
I need to be shoulder to shoulder to my people.
I need to be amongst the GP, the general public.
Oh my God! So
Gem Pop.
That's another one was Thierry Henry, LA Galaxy manager.
He's
right?
always around though.
Yeah. So the interim manager is going to be Dominic Kinnear, who just managed the San Jose Earthquakes.
San Jose was fired
for being bad at that job, and then
just drives downstate, gets himself a pretty cushy job, and now he Mike Pence's his way into the just kind of sits back and lets Sigi do his own thing.
Yeah. So it's looking like I don't know if this is going to be the resolution that LA needs to make it into the playoffs. Seattle and Portland are looking like they're not going to give up those 5th and 6th spots unless something crazy happens. But
shouts to Portland for making changes in the lineup, man. Gio Savarese got no chill.
Sure. Oh,
Gio Savarese's like, oh, you think you earned the spot? That's mad cute, my guy.
That's right. We did
Scrub his name off the board.
He looked at me the wrong way.
Yo, carry my bag, Armenteros. Get up out of here.
So we'll see. So we'll see what's gonna happen. It was a bit of a shock to a lot of people. So
he looked at me wrong. He's telling someone else. He's not even looking at. I don't like the way this dude right here looked at me.
That's how he makes his coaching decisions. I don't know.
Gio Savarese, damn, y'all, he spent a lot of time with the Cosmos.
I mean, look, we've heard ridiculous reasons to leave somebody off the lineup, right?
Yeah.
Kyrie Shelton and Monkey Lopez just being on Snapchat, just having a little fun.
Instagram story gets you booted off the 18.
So I wouldn't be so surprised. So let's talk about another Los Angeles Galaxy legend who was there for a year and a half, I think. Jermaine Jones.
Hey.
Jermaine Jones
retired.
Announces his retirement from soccer. And I thought he retired last year. I was very surprised.
LA Galaxy fans thought he retired a long time ago, right when he got there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he retired as soon as he picked up his 4th red card of the season in his last MLS year.
In 2 games, very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do.
The ref makes they made a lot of mistakes. Anyway.
How did he never get one of those red cards you get like in the locker room after the game or like in the parking lot?
Oh, sure.
How did he not get one?
I guess maybe
he's like a very chill guy off the field.
He kept it all between the lines.
Yeah.
You know?
What's the whistle blew for the final? He was just like, hey man, that was really great out there. You know?
Hey man, yeah, how the kids?
I know. I really love the way I 2-footed you. You really, it's like wrestlers.
You really handled.
You did a good job there.
You know what? At least we put on a show.
Yeah.
So Jermaine Jones retires. What was your first reaction to it?
My first thought was the goal against Portugal.
Yes.
And how incredible that moment was. But then you also look back, someone who played in the Bundesliga, Premier League, MLS, always did his own thing. I really respect the way he speaks. I really respect the fact that he's like, nah, you know what? If you're going to be mad at me for telling the truth, then just be mad at me because I'm not going to lie for the purpose of helping you. You know, the thing about Jordan Morris, I know that pissed off a lot of people, but honestly, I'm like, yo, we need to know these things as fans. It's enough. To me, it's like enough with this whole idea that they're like these altar boys over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, it's like, yo, put out the real. Like, what is it that's really happening? And he's one of those dudes.
He did exactly that all the time.
He goes on Instagram Live, and we're kind of famous for being like, well, I'm going to find a way to take this off there and share it to the world.
So he did go, this was late last year. He
Full ham?
Full ham. He went on Instagram Live, and once Jordan Morris announced that he was...
Werder Bremen...
he wasn't going to go to...
Werder Bremen wanted to sign him.
Yes.
And he was like, nah, I'm going to stay with Seattle.
So we were
critical of that move.
Yeah.
I called him soft.
You did. I did not. I didn't go that far.
I know. Well, that's you. But Matt Doyle kind of came on our show and gave us a different viewpoint of it. And he was like, why? Why is that soft? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was a really good back and forth. Yeah. Let's just say Jermaine Jones on Team Alexis.
Just for the sake of a throwback, let's play. There's probably some people who did not hear Jermaine Jones talking about Jordan Morris.
Right.
So I just want to play that for everyone just so they can,
so they can hear it.
Go back down memory lane.
Jürgen called me and told me to please call Jordan Morris. I called Jordan Morris and I talked with him. And I asked him, I said, I know that Werder Bremen really wants you, and you can play there, and you have the opportunity. You never know what comes after. You play already Bundesliga, and you can go farther. And he said, you know what? I want to go home. My dad is the doctor in Seattle, and my mom, they bought me and my girlfriend a dog and all kind of stuff. I was, really? I'm like, why you go the easy way if you have the chance, you know? There's so many kids out there. They would love to go this way, but why we go always the easy way?
God damn!
So.
Wow. I still get upset thinking about that damn dog.
That episode was one of the more fun episodes I remember recording. We had a really good.
We shared a lot of opinions that day.
But it's just the fact that and we talked about this regarding Jimmy Conrad. Remember about like people that are very vocal about U.S. soccer and the U.S. men's national team and what the standards should be and how everybody should push themselves to be as good as they can be. And Jermaine Jones did exactly that. Even though this might have been like personal
and egregious, maybe disrespectful in some, but he's sharing his opinion.
Yes.
He's not saying that we're the ones, right? I remember Christian very clearly saying that Jordan Morris was soft. Like, we're the ones who put that on him. He's not saying
Let's go to the tape.
You can hear it now. I don't have much of a beard, and Jordan Morris is up. There it is right there.
Did I call him soft or myself soft? I don't know what I did there.
Well, you said you related to it. So what I'm saying is, like, Jermaine Jones came out and said, here's what happened, and it surprised me. And this is a symptom of American soccer and where we are. And to some degree, I still don't disagree with him. 100%, I don't mind when players stay home, but to some degree, if there's a chance to go somewhere that makes you a better soccer player and that's going to help the U.S. men's national team, that conversation was before. That was right after the World Cup, right? We didn't qualify. Or was that before?
That was after. This was in October.
Yeah, so this was after.
Yeah.
I mean, this was all the reaction to the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
And we're seeing like what we saw against Brazil, which we'll talk in the next segment. We have some really great players, but we certainly need more. And we need more forwards, right? Dave Sarakin said it himself. He's a forward. These are all things that are symptoms of what's happening in the U.S. men's national team. And he came out and was like, well, let me give you an example of why this might be happening.
Yeah,
this is shit that we don't hear about. And that's, I'm putting this on all the reporters. We have all these reporters that are doing great jobs, right? The Athletic is amazing.
Find out what's going on with all the players' dogs and if they love them or not.
We need to know about it. And if that four-legged object is the reason they don't go play in Bundesliga, you need to be reporting on that.
Is that what we're doing?
Just make Jermaine Jones your source.
Is that what's holding us back? It's just
puppies?
All these canines are just keeping us from being the best soccer nation in the world?
Just a bunch of doggos. Doggos? I don't know how you say it.
All right. All these, you know what it is? It's all these dog Instagram accounts that are they're holding soccer back.
These damn dogs.
You got to stop loving them so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable to love them.
You need to become immune to the love of a puppy.
Yes, we know.
Look, it made me so successful.
I get that they're very soft and they show so much love and they're caring.
But
and
so
we don't deserve them. But still.
So is Christian and I. Love us.
Keep them at arm's length.
Yes.
Okay?
Please. We'll love you.
So it is. It's not even not this. It's like this weird thing. Like you're not really sad to see him go. It wasn't like he was like just playing. He was out. I mean, he wasn't getting a contract. I mean, I think part of it. I think he still wanted to continue playing, but that wasn't.
I thought the rumor was that they offered him a contract. That they asked him to stay there.
Who's they?
Werder Bremen.
Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
We're talking about Jordan Morris.
No, we're talking about Jermaine Jones.
Oh yeah, I mean, just he was done. He's
He
done.
was done. Okay. So it's just like Clint Dempsey announces his retirement a couple days prior, and then now Jermaine Jones is like, all right, now let's make this about me. Forget Deuce.
I just want to play 1 week longer than Clint Dempsey.
But obviously, Jermaine Jones did not get the same amount of praise and love. They're different types of players.
Yeah.
Clint Dempsey.
Also, Clint Dempsey played a little bit longer in both the men's national team and in MLS. So
Sure.
and Jermaine Jones being a dual national probably plays a little bit into that.
But he
There's
wasn't
a little bit less of a connection.
There is a great article on The Athletic about why Jermaine Jones was so important, and he was the tough guy, the tough CONCACAF dude that did the things, the dirty work to help us qualify to previous World Cups.
Yeah,
so
no, he was a great player for us.
It's arguably I could say that we don't really have that kind of person anymore.
I would even say he's the most important dual national that's ever played for our team.
That's fair. I don't have a long list to compare him to.
Timmy Chandler, really? I mean, there's a little bit of a drop off there.
So Fabian Johnson. So when I look forward, I'm like, oh, who might be that person in the future? That tough Tyler Adams, maybe. He's
Tyler
still
Adams
young,
is
but
gonna be great.
I don't know how. I'm not gonna argue that he's not tough, but.
Oh, no,
When you think of Jermaine Jones, you don't think of like he's not a wild animal like Jermaine Jones.
No, but you know what though? I feel like Jermaine Jones needed to do that. I think a lot of the players that we have now are similar in the ilk to like a Clint Dempsey, which is like, I'm not gonna go out and attack you, but I'm also not gonna take any shit. Like I'll mush somebody, I'll rip a ref's notebook up right now.
Well, don't do that, guys, please.
Please do that. We need more of that. But like Weston McKennie's not taking anybody's shit. Tyler Adams ain't taking anybody's shit. I think I'm really happy with where the youth development is right now.
We'll see. Well,
DeAndre Yedlin ain't taking. You saw him this weekend.
Well, we saw it over the weekend.
We did saw it.
We saw it over the weekend, but the U.S. didn't touch the ball basically, and hopefully they have.
He was like, "Yo, did you watch the World Cup?" To the ref,
which is great. So
come on, DeAndre.
We'll talk about that in a bit, but we'll see this podcast. You'll be hearing it after the U.S.-Mexico game. So we're recording it before that, so we don't know exactly what happened in that one.
We
beat Mexico. Maybe 6-7.
Yeah.
A cero.
Just let RSL play them.
But. Excuse me. So we're gonna let's move on to our next segment because we're super excited. We're gonna be joined by Matt Besler.
What?
Of Sporting Kansas City.
How come no one told me? That's amazing.
Alexis, this is Matt. Put on your pants. Matt Besler's coming.
I'm not. Well, oh my God, they just won't go on.
So we're super excited about that, and we got a lot of fun stuff to talk to him about. So we'll be right back with Matt Besler after this.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the episode. We just have a little word from one of our sponsors, SeatGeek.
SeatGeek is back, looking out for us, looking out for you. All right. Are they? Look, there's U.S. men's national team games.
Well, they're about to play Colombia. They're about to play. Well, they just played Mexico.
That's right. They just played Mexico.
How'd you get tickets to that?
How'd you get tickets to that?
If you didn't use the app and go to SeatGeek on your phone and put in the code Cooligans, were you being smart at all?
Yeah, that's probably the main concern. We're concerned about your intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, look, guess what? Let's say you're in Nashville, right? Let's say you're walking around, be like, yo, I want to go to the game tonight. The app knows what's around you. It's going to pick that up. And guess what? You want a good deal? Bruh, it does. It searches all those other websites and all those other ticket sellers to find you the best deal, presents it to you. And if you're a first-time user, you put in the code Cooligans, it's going to give you $20 off.
$20 off. And I mean, it's not even just soccer games. It's concerts. It's other events, other sporting events. The NFL is back. That inferior sport that you might want to go to. Might want to go see a game.
Maybe you want to go see what that other sport is. I don't think I want to be here for 4 hours and watch a bunch of timeouts. True. But if you do want to go to it, all you have to do is put in Cooligans, and you're going to get $20 off if that's your first order.
That's right.
And you know you're going to get the best price.
And that's right. And download the SeatGeek app. It's so easy to use. It's nice and streamlined. It's a good user interface. I'm an IT nerd, so I'm very impressed with it.
Their user interface or UI is very good. See, I learned a thing or two. Not bad. My head hurts now, but it was good. Here's the thing. Do you want to go searching every website for the best deal, or do you just want something that's going to tell you right away? I mean, that's the SeatGeek app. So download that SeatGeek app, put in code Cooligans, and if it's your first time using that app, bruh, we're giving you $20 off. Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are back, and this is
what a special treat.
This is so exciting. You know what? We haven't had a player on for a little bit.
That's false because I'm here every week, baby. I'm gonna play you.
That's right.
He can hear us right now, and he's like, "I thought these guys were comedians."
We've been.
What's this bullshit?
I feel like every time we've we've traveled and we've met a couple players and here and there, but just have someone just right on the podcast, like the old days. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have a player call in. You know, they're driving to practice. This is what we do, right? This is when we get them in trouble because they say answer the questions too honestly.
So, welcome everyone to the show. The captain of the Sporting Kansas City,
right?
Just a soccer. I want to say an American soccer legend. I think he's climbing those ranks to get there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this guy's got a lot of caps.
That's right. A lot of caps. Please, everyone, welcome.
Unless you're driving, put your hands together for the one, the only Matt Besler.
Hey, Matty.
How you guys doing? I am driving. I'm driving home from practice right now, so I will not be clapping for myself.
Yeah, please don't clap for yourself. Very dangerous unless you're at a red light.
This is not the way you want to go. Not on this podcast.
Please don't let it be our fault.
I can honk the horn if you guys want me to. But
yeah, give us a good one.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, I did it.
I was hoping Matt Besler had a
pickup truck.
A pickup truck horn.
Just like
I do. I'm driving a pickup truck.
Are you really?
Apparently the horn is
a little
horn's
weak.
not that loud.
Yeah, a little weak. We got to trade that bad boy in. Get yourself a new horn.
Yeah, I need a semi truck. That's what I need.
Yeah, one of those horns you pull the strap down from the top. What's it like playing for a team that is especially in a home stadium? The Blue Cauldron, as they call themselves. What's the waiting list for these season tickets? 40, 50 years? It's ridiculous. What's it feel like playing something like that? Being someone who grew up as an American soccer player, that's new. I mean, I know everyone talks about Atlanta, then they used to talk about Seattle. Kansas City is one of those that they scrapped it and completely redid it, and it's working really well. What's that feel like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see the loyalty that we have here in Kansas City. And I think that I have a unique perspective in that, I started out playing, I was a rookie 10 years ago, and the league was different 10 years ago. And so I've kind of see it grow and I've seen the changes. And one of the big things that I always tell people is in the early days, for one, you didn't get recognized as much when you're out and about in the city. But if you did get recognized, it was more of a, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, you play for Kansas City, right? You play for Sporting. And it's like, oh, yeah, I do. And, oh, yeah, so great to meet you. Like, all right, we'll see you later. And now it's totally transformed into, for one, you get recognized, way more often than before. But it's the fans are just so much more knowledgeable about everything. And so it's not like, oh, hey, are you Matt Besler? Don't you play for Sporting? It's like, hey, Matt, great game on Saturday night, and we were there, and that play you made in the 57th minute to save the goal, like, oh, that was unbelievable. Good luck next week against San Jose. And I mean, they're just like so much more tuned in and the details, and so that's probably been the biggest change. But it's been awesome to experience firsthand for sure.
And I imagine that is a factor in, because I've read a lot that you were getting interest and a lot of offers from European clubs and just out of MLS. You've it seemingly have made the decision to start and end your career in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, you just signed a 5-year contract, right? You want to be there for the long term, apparently.
And I imagine how great Kansas City has been helpful playing, near where you grew up and all those things. But what has been what was the the main factor in that decision? Because I know for a lot of players, and we talk about it a lot, where especially men's national team players, where some people are critical of like, hey, we want our men's national team players to go abroad and play in Europe? And what was the factor in making that decision to stay?
Well, it's different for everybody, and it's just every player is different, and every player is in a different situation, and so it's impossible for people to like categorize, people and put them in the same group and say, oh, well, if you're a national team player, then you have to go and play in Europe, and it just you have to look at it on an individual basis, and I think age plays a very big factor where you're at in your career. I think if you're at the beginning of your career, it would make sense more to go over to Europe because you have more room for error. Like Europe it's hard to make it in Europe. We all know that. There's a lot of different factors for that. But when you're young and you have years to kill and years to develop, then it makes more sense where if you're in the prime of your career or if you're in the later stages of your career, then, you have to be, more calculated in making those decisions because, you can't afford to go over there and not play for a year, You can't afford to go over there and, the coach gets fired and then the new coach comes in and now you're not playing and now you have to go on loan and now you're not getting regular games and, it just depends on where you're at in your career. And so for me specifically, I was at a stage in my career where I felt like I was right in the middle of my career. We had just kind of embarked on this huge project with Sporting Kansas City. We had just rebranded, we were selling out our stadium. We were building on the field, off the field. And I wasn't ready to give that up yet. I feel like I was just now starting that project and, I played a part in that project and I wasn't finished in building that. And so, I'm very prideful to be playing in Kansas City, to be a part of the project. And I wasn't ready to give that up. And, to be frank with you guys too, there wasn't the right option, anywhere else. I explored certain opportunities, but at the end of the day, none of them really made sense. And Kansas City for me was the right place to continue.
All right. See, I thought you were just going to say it was because of the barbecue. You know what I mean? That's good enough reason. They ain't got good barbecue in Turkey.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I said there was a lot of factors in the decision. That might have been one.
That is true.
You would think there would be good barbecue in Turkey because it's named Turkey. Anyway.
Right, come on. You know what? We're supposed to be comedians here.
The bar is very low for us, I think.
All right. So you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot in Kansas City. I mean, you're probably going to get a statue there at some point. I mean, you really are. You're stalwart. We had one of the questions from the fans. They wanted to know, how does it feel winning a U.S. Open Cup, and do you think it compares to winning an MLS Cup?
Well, to answer the first one, yeah, it feels amazing. That's why we play as players to win, and to compare it to an MLS Cup, it's different for sure, but they're both. I don't want to say equally because they were different, but they were right. They were on par with each other. I think anybody that says, "Oh, well, Open Cup, it doesn't really mean as much," and I don't view it as that at all. I think that's crazy.
The 100-year competition doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So for you, a trophy is a trophy is a trophy.
A trophy is a trophy. I just think it's very American to say, oh, well, the cup doesn't matter. And really it's about the playoffs. And well, yeah, like the playoffs are important too, but I mean, why would we play this competition, if it didn't mean anything? Like if you're in the competition, why wouldn't you play to win?
Yeah, well,
that's the goal, right?
It's like say that to there was a meme after you guys won the Open Cup against the Red Bulls where was it Sasha Kljestan crying? It became like the popular meme. So
it replaced the Jordan crying meme for a little bit. And we were doing that. That's how I know that.
Well, okay. So here's the other thing too. So, one of our main goals is always to get into Champions League. That's a huge accomplishment all over the world. Like, how do you get into Champions League? And for us, one of the ways you get into Champions League is winning the Open Cup. Another way is to win MLS Cup. And so when you think about it like that, like, well, yeah, they are equal. I mean, both of them get you into Champions League. That's what you're trying to do.
There you go.
And on a more somber note, let's talk about the World Cup that just passed, because the U.S. men's national team did not get the opportunity to go, and you were one of the players in playing in that last game in the qualifiers. I know this is it's generally like for the last like couple months. I think after this World Cup, we've sort of been on a reconstructive sort of place where we're like, all right, well, how do we not let that happen again? But you know, we haven't spoken to anyone specifically who was there and how that felt. I know it's obviously negative, but
Bruce Arena won't return our phone calls.
Yeah, I wonder why. But in general, how do you feel? How did you feel then, and how do you feel now?
I felt terrible. I felt embarrassed and ashamed, and like I let a lot of people down. I feel like I let the entire country down. So it was a difficult moment for sure. I think it's always going to stick with me. I don't think I'll ever 100% get over it. I also think that, everything that needed to be said has already been said. There's only so many ways that you can describe, what happened, embarrassing and, difficult, and, you feel terrible, and all that's true. And at some point that's never really going to change. And so what I think has happened over the last couple months is that people are finally, I don't want to say forgiving, because I don't think we'll ever be forgiven for not qualifying. But they're starting to move on. And that has been, that has been a positive step, I think, for everybody. I think it's very important. We can't go back and change what happened. And so now it's all about, answering the questions. Well, what are we going to do about it? And I truly believe that there's going to be a lot of good that comes out of this, for sure.
Yeah, I think people are forgiving. Maybe people are not forgiving the team, but they're forgiving players individually, like one at a time.
Yeah. We're going down the 18, and eventually we'll get down to everybody.
I mean, look, we have seen how Michael Bradley's being treated at almost every stadium he goes
Josie too.
Josie they're getting booed, and
when you play against TFC, do you also boo? You're like, yeah, guys, boo them, not me. Remember them?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, no comment. You should have at least gotten an all-expense paid trip. The whole team should have got one to Panama at the very least, right? Those guys made it into the World Cup.
Well, so the thing is, and so, I mean, all the focus is on the Trinidad game, right?
Yeah.
And look, I understand it. That's part of it. Like, there's no excuse that, we should be able to go down to Trinidad, no matter the circumstance, no matter the conditions, and get a result, like we should be able to do that. And we didn't. And we should pay the consequences for that. But, all this focus on just this game. And I think you have to take a step back. And I mean, it was that game that was the final game where we didn't qualify. But at the end of the day, we didn't it was a 10-game qualification process, right?
Yeah.
And so there were many missed opportunities. It wasn't just that Trinidad game. Like, in soccer, you guys should know this. Like, anything can happen, right? When it's one game, it's soccer. Like, sometimes it's such an unfair game, and I think we should have never been in that situation where you needed to go down to a country like Trinidad and for one final game and have to get a result. I think that was the issue, because anything can happen. I think it was, really the missed opportunities earlier on in the process that really came back to bite us.
Yeah, I mean, there's more than that, for sure. And I think that's something that a lot of the fans look at and go, because of what you said, we could go down there and get a result. Typically, you would expect that. So to have that happen, that becomes sort of the scapegoat moment for a lot of other ills, for sure.
But for sure.
But moving on, like, we talked a little bit about, you signed a 5-year contract. Congratulations, by the way. And, you're definitely going to be in Kansas City for the long haul. What do you see yourself doing after? Do you see yourself as helping develop the potential next center backs for the men's national team coming out of Kansas City? Do you want to be a part of the game in that way, or do you think of yourself as someone who's going to take a step back?
That's a great question. And I don't know. I don't want to answer that because I'm still fully committed to being a professional soccer player. And I really believe that I have a lot of good years left in me. And so, I don't know. I feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I spent like a lot of time actually thinking about and brainstorming like, oh, I'd like to do this. And, I've been heavily inspired by Tom Brady and what he's been doing with his age. And so
and his Uggs.
Yeah.
And his Uggs.
Very comfortable shoes. That's what you're inspired by? Imagine you're the first soccer player to get Uggs with studs.
If I think any guy that's entering, as a veteran, like you should look at Tom Brady and be like, I want to be the Tom Brady of soccer. Like, why can't I play until I'm 40? And marry a supermodel and wear Uggs.
Yeah. I mean, those are all very achievable things, apparently.
Very aspirational. Yeah. That's just totally fair. There's a couple questions I had about a few things. So there, what's this? Early this year, your teammate Graham Zusi, he did
the unthinkable.
He cut his very gorgeous long hair, and I know on the internet that he became like this new hipster meme. It was hipster Graham Zusi. What was the reaction when he cut his hair in the locker room?
I don't think anybody was shocked.
Really?
Close to him, knew that he wanted to, or he had been wanting to cut it for a while. But when we first saw him, we were shocked to see him. I don't think we were shocked by his decision. We were just shocked. Like, it almost looked like we had a new teammate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were like, who are you? Get out of here.
Yeah,
it's Graham's locker.
You put him through like a rookie hazing process.
Like, are you the new off-season signing? Are you a DP?
Yeah.
You're DP.
I hate these South Americans coming here taking all the designated player spots.
He should have walked in with like mate. A new player.
Hey, I think he looks great though.
He does. I mean, there's nothing he could do.
I don't know if I'm one
to
judge, but I think he looks good.
That's the thing with a lot of times when guys like shave their beards and cut their hair and sort of go with that new look, and then people are like, "Hey, you look good." Then sometimes like, "Well, what did I look like before?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Was I hideous?
He looked good both ways. He's the guy. He can pull off anything.
Okay.
So, I mean, look, Graham apparently, is doing his keeping himself fresh looking and young in his time off. You, on the other hand, you and one of your teammates have started somewhat of sort of like an athletic clothing brand. Is that right?
That is correct. It's called States.
That's right. So you and Seth Sinovic,
correct.
Who you? I guess you guys grew up playing soccer together, right?
We did. Yeah, me and Seth. We were both originally from Kansas City. We both started playing on the same club soccer team when we were in second grade, and we continued playing with that same team all the way through our senior year of high school, which I think is very rare because nowadays, like, people just jump around and play with a bunch of different teams. So we played together from second grade to our senior year in high school, and then we both went away for college. I played at Notre Dame. Seth played at Creighton. And then we were rejoined back in Kansas City, and we've played the last 9 seasons together. So I'll let you guys do the math on how many years of playing together that is. But we have a very long history on the field together.
I just did the math, and it's a lot. So
a lot. Good answer.
There you go.
And what's the chemistry like on the field? Do you ever get to a point where like Seth, we've played together so long. You know where I'm going to be. You know where to put the ball. Why are you making mistakes?
Or you're like, bro, you've been doing this since you were 9. When are you going to learn? Okay.
I don't know. I think it's a mixture of both of those sentiments. But we played different positions when we were younger. Seth was actually our striker. He was the fastest kid on the field, and so he would just stand up at the half field line and wait for us to play the ball over the top, and he'd just run it down and score goals, and that was his deal. So we've gradually moved farther and farther back on the field, and now we're finally playing defenders together.
Yeah, now you can finally hold hands on the field together.
What you've tried to do since you were children.
So I'm curious. So it seems like you and Seth clearly have a good friendship, and now he's clearly roping you into his business ventures with States. But no, why did this even happen? Why did you guys create States?
So it was a long process, but the easiest way to describe what really happened was me and Seth, along with two other of our childhood friends, Ryan Van Gothen and Daniel Curley, we were basically just sitting around in our basement, and we were probably drinking some beer too. And we all just said, like, hey, we need to start a soccer company. We need to do it. It's something that we're all connected to the game, and we've always talked about doing it. Like, what can we possibly do and what can we create? And so we started like brainstorming, just hanging out together in the basement, and we had all these different ideas, and we talked about them. And at the end of the day, through the connections that we had and some of the people that we talked with, a lifestyle athletic clothing brand was our best option. And so that's when the process started, and it took about a year and a half, and we've finally been able to officially launch a couple weeks ago. And so, it's very exciting, and we'll see where it goes. I think that we've had a lot of good feedback early on, and I'm excited about it.
And right now, like I'm just looking at some of the clothing. It is it's very plain. It's very like low key. You're not really trying to like put like a big ass logo all over your chest. And
it
stuff
just
like
says States across the arm, which is kind of dope. And it does seem like there's a lot of grays and blues and blacks, which is cool. It feels like you're going out to grab a bite, but then if somebody kicks a ball at you, you could also play the game.
Well, that was the whole concept. The design was, and I'll say this too is this is our first line, and so we wanted to start out with something simple and basic, and so that's why you're seeing a lot of the grays and the blacks. We do have a lot of cool ideas to start introducing some color, which we will do in the near future, but. The concept was, at least for us right now, you're a soccer player, or if you're an ex-soccer player, or if you're just a fan, how do you show that, And we just felt like there's only so many opportunities in your everyday life to kind of show off that, hey, soccer's a part of my life, or I play soccer. Or, I'm a fan. And, it was once a week on Wednesday nights when you get to go and play in the men's league. That's when you get to be a soccer player. Or, Saturday morning when you watch the Premier League and you get to wear your Arsenal jersey. There's limited opportunities for people in America. We feel for them to express their love for the game. And so, we're trying to create something that you can wear every single day in your life, anytime, anywhere. You can go to the grocery store, or you can go to the movies, or you can go on a date, or, you can just chill at home and on your couch. And, is there something to wear that kind of says and makes you feel like, yeah, I'm a soccer player, or I love this game, or I used to play, or, all these different things, these emotions that you get, because I think we all have love for the game, and we all kind of experience it in a different way, but we want to be able to share, that love and that emotion of the game. And so, we're trying to create something that you can actually wear and that you can show and that you can live every single day.
That'd be so cool to just be on a date and be like, hey, a soccer game broke out, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, you just wait till the food gets you. I'll be right back. And
that's right.
Tell me what happens at the beginning of this movie, and I'll just be right back.
You know what? I think the cool thing about the soccer players is we can kind of like go back and forth. Like you can wear like your training soccer top to dinner. And then, like you guys said, if a game pops up, like you can just hop over and start playing. Like I don't think like any other sport you can really do that. But like soccer players, I don't know, have that ability to kind of cross over and, from like off the field, on the field.
Yeah, I can't imagine a hockey player's bringing that big ass bag of theirs and sticks
Exactly.
on a
Exactly.
day. What's up? Oh, sorry, this is going to take up 2 seats, but I need to put this down in case somebody, tackles me or checks me against the boards.
That's awesome. Well, I'm actually just curious. Why did you guys choose the name States?
That's a great question. We kept coming back to the name. We wanted something simple, and we wanted something that represented American soccer. Because like I said earlier on, I think in other parts of the world, they already have this established culture, and it's already part of, everyday life. Like those situations that I talked about going to the grocery store or the movies, or, there's people that represent soccer while doing that in other parts of the world. And I think here in America, we're still so young as a game, and so we're still really searching for who we are, and so we're trying to give that voice to American soccer. And the other thing that's pretty cool too is that a lot of times we are viewed from people outside of America as the States, especially in soccer. Like when somebody refers to the U.S. or America, it's like, oh yeah, back in the States, or those guys are from the States, and that aspect was really cool. That's kind of what stuck out. But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we just kept coming back to it, and we really liked it.
That's awesome, because this podcast that we started, we've sort of been these very strong like American soccer stands, right? So I like that mentality, because there isn't from the comedy perspective. We've been doing comedy a long time, and what usually happens is people usually make fun of soccer. That's usually what we have to deal with.
Yeah, that's what everyone thought when we started too. They thought we were just going to make fun of the game, and we're like, no, we're going to poke fun at it because we love it. We're season ticket holders to MLS. Like we want to support American soccer and have it grow. And also, it's enough. Like we were tired of being the ones who like we're supposed to be embarrassed that we like American soccer. Nah, son, not anymore. Like we're gonna stand real hard for it. And you guys are doing the same thing with the brand. So people can check that out. You can go to states.soccer, which is kind of cool. .soccer. You really guys are representing when that's the end of your HTML.
I just want to hear Matt Besler. Can you say nah, son?
Nah, son.
Yeah, it sounds so good with that slight Midwestern accent.
Repping American soccer all day. We have a couple questions.
Yeah, I got that Midwest draw.
Yeah, you do, but it works.
I've been told.
We have a couple questions from some of our listeners. Shout out to Dan Kuzer, a friend of the show. He's from Kansas City, from Topeka.
He's actually the one who he graffitied the 2017 when you won the Open Cup.
No, that was 2015.
Yeah, I know him. I remember. He helped me out painting the wall.
Oh, yeah, you're in the photo. You're standing next to him.
That's amazing. Yeah, that was 2015. That's
2015. My bad.
Yeah, so Dan Kuzer, he did have a question. I'm sorry. I know he's very happy that you remember him because he's a really good dude.
Yeah, let's just say right now he's freaking out having heard that.
But
what's up, Dan? No, man. No, son.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So he did ask about your book. You wrote a book recently, No Other Home, and in general, I do love that Kansas City sort of mentality, that no other club. Dan Kuzer hosts the podcast No Other Pod. So what was the process in writing that book? I know there's not. I don't know how many American soccer players have written autobiographies and stuff like that. But what was that process for you?
It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot too. I just think that for me, my mentality is I want to try and experience as many things as I can in my life. And this, the starting a lifestyle clothing brand is one example. Like why, if you have the opportunity, like I want to go for it. And the book is another example of that. And when I first started out, I knew that I didn't want to write a typical sports biography where I started when I was born, and then I first started playing soccer, and then I scored 10 goals in a game when I was 5 years old.
And then I went to,
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I feel like that's played out a little bit, and if people really wanted to know my stats from when I was younger, they can probably just go online and Google it and read about it there. And so I knew I wanted to do something different. And the problem or the question that I had was, well, what am I going to do that's different? And so we started brainstorming and we came to the conclusion, like, let's write a journal type book where I just tackle a bunch of questions that people ask me. And because, I go to a lot of appearances and after games, and people all ask the same question. They ask like, hey, what was it like you guys? I mean, what was it like winning the Open Cup? Or how is that different from MLS Cup? Or, what can my 8-year-old son do? What piece of advice would you give him? So I started collecting all these different experiences and questions from over the years. And I just started diving into them and just journaling how I would answer those. And so we ended up putting them all together into a book. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a learning process for sure. It was, I don't know if you guys have ever thought about writing a book, but there's a lot that goes into it. I have much respect for authors for sure.
Initially, I thought you were going to say, I don't know if you guys have ever read a book.
Which also would have been difficult for us to answer.
It doesn't sound like it, guys.
Yeah. I got to be honest, that's the vibe we're trying to put out. So I'm glad you got that.
That's good.
I'm glad you got that from us.
Yeah, is Cooligan, is that even a word?
It
not,
is now, bro.
It is now, bro.
Okay.
I mean, if you would have asked us when we started, I would have said, nah, son.
That's right.
You did recently introduce a new family member. I know you just your wife had a baby recently, right?
That is correct. Yeah, we had our second daughter about 4 weeks ago.
Wow.
Her name is Marin J. So yeah, that was a big life change. We are officially a family of 4.
Awesome. Congratulations.
You guys got any advice for me?
Yeah, we don't have kids.
We don't have kids.
So our advice would be go back in time. Don't do it.
That's
I will not be taking that advice.
Yeah, of course not. You have a beautiful family.
You should. How are you holding up? How's that going? Are you sleeping? Are you are you on your way? Are we holding you up from taking care of your new child?
And is State Soccer going to create some onesies pretty soon?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. I got to pitch that to the team. No, I'm doing great, guys. It's awesome. It definitely is time consuming. It's hard, but we're doing much better with the second one. I think you know what's in store. You know what to expect, and so our stress levels are much lower, which just makes everything easier. We can wind down better, and we can nap and rest better and sleep better, and so. Yeah, the second one has been a lot of fun. I am getting sleep. We have a nice little schedule, me and my wife. We at the beginning of the week, I try and help out as much as I can in the middle of the night, and then towards the end of the week, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like getting ready for the game, I'll kind of shut it down and get like a full night's sleep, and so she just like fully takes over. So I think it's working good.
All right.
As long as you have a system, that seems pretty cool. I'm going to do the same thing with my wife, even though we don't have any kids or anything. But it's just, all right, I'll watch a little bit of late night TV, but then as we get closer to the weekend, maybe I'll stay in bed a little longer.
Yeah. Exactly.
I handle, you handle the beginning of the week, and, you also handle the end of the week.
Yeah. And continue paying the rent while I be a comic who does a soccer podcast. Thanks, babe.
Yeah, how'd you swing that?
Nice. Became a comic after I got married, too, buddy. So
trapped her. That's all he did.
Yeah. Really convinced her I was a good guy.
Matt Besler, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It really means the world to us. Thank you for taking the time.
You're welcome. Seriously, guys. Next time you come in and stop through Kansas City, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take you guys out.
Where could people find out more about State Soccer? Just by going to states.soccer?
Yeah, so that's our website, states.soccer. We also we're pretty heavily active on Instagram, so go give us a follow. And yeah, looking forward to the future and what's in store. And we appreciate all the support we can get.
No doubt,
we're trying to grow this game in this country. So get on board.
And good luck for the rest of the season. The Sporting Kansas City just got a win a couple days ago, and it's looking like there's going to be a really good. The playoffs are going to be really interesting this season.
I hope so. Thanks, guys.
All right,
buddy. Thank you so much.
Take care, Matt.
Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the Cooligans. We just wanted to give you a word from one of our sponsors, us.
Us. We're the ones sponsoring this episode.
Yeah. Actually, it's you guys. We're trying to build a little bit. We've been saying it from the beginning. We want to build a community. We're calling that community the Gully Squad. And how you join is go to our website, and you click on that menu, and you're going to see something that says Gully Squad. Now, what is Gully Squad? We're trying to find a way to add more content to the show, add a second episode per week. You could be a part of that. Just register and sign up, and you're basically going to be kind of, I don't know, one of our sponsors almost, right?
Yeah, you'll be helping support the show, but not only that, but you'll be able to contribute suggestions, ideas, things you want us to talk about. So we want to make that second episode a very listener-based episode.
Yeah, and you guys give us a lot of great information on Twitter. You know, what are some of the other things you want us to do? What are some of the things that we don't talk about that you want us to talk about? Somebody already joined and gave us a great suggestion. We need to talk more about women's soccer, right? He has a daughter that's playing the sport, and he wants us to be more involved in that. We would love to be more involved in that. Great suggestion. This is what we're talking about. Maybe he can send us some articles or suggest some players.
Or even it's an issue with like time as well, right? Like if we want to make this more our job, then if we want to watch more, like the NWSL playoffs are going on now. I just watched the Portland Portland Thorns against the Seattle Reign the other day. Yeah. But to be able to dedicate that time to like say, hey, this is my job. I'm going to make sure I watch these MLS games, these NWSL games, some of these European games,
or NPSL Pro as it comes up, all those things.
So by supporting the show, by joining the Gully Squad, you'll be able to allow us the time to make sure to do that. So there's a bunch of different levels: $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, and
it is a monthly subscription. But at the highest level, we're going to give you merch as it comes out, right?
Yeah.
We got some merch. We're going to give you tickets to shows that are local to you. So you're in one of those cities that we're going to go to. We're going to give you guys free tickets, right? So you really will be a part of the show at that really high level.
Yeah.
You're just going to be like a constant part of the show, and that's something that we look forward to having you guys give us some input, have you guys at our shows, and have you guys wearing our merch. I mean, I can't think of anything better than that.
It'd be a dream come true. So go to soccercooligans.com, click on the menu that says Join the Gully Squad, and I mean, it'll be great. It'll be a great future for all of us.
Somebody, come on, be a part of that Gully Squad. We'd love to have you aboard. Yeah, baby, we're back.
Yo, how cool was that?
Oh, God, Matt's a great dude.
What a great human being.
Called us driving home.
Yeah, to his new baby.
Come on, and he took time away from that.
Which is good.
Good. You know, that makes them independent. You know what I mean?
They grow up quicker.
Yeah. That way they don't need you. You know, you're 5. Make your own mac and cheese.
How long you want to be taking care of this baby for?
I mean,
what?
Come on.
5, 6 weeks?
Come on. It's too much.
Oh, come on. That's a problem with kids these days.
This is why American soccer isn't getting better. Because we don't have stray kids. We need stray kids.
Okay, little orphan children running around with their city faces.
You know, conning people, selling them flowers, but robbing their purses and wallets.
And that's how you become good at soccer.
Right? I mean, that's what they're doing everywhere else. So.
You learn on the streets.
On the streets.
Thank you so much, Matt Besler, for being on the show. Just huge.
Congratulations on the new baby and the new clothing line and the book and how many more things can we congratulate him on? Leave some meat on the bone for us.
It was exciting. We hadn't had a Sporting Kansas City player, a current one. We had Jimmy Conrad, who played for the Wizards.
Never played for Sporting Kansas City.
Yeah, he played for the Wizards, which does not count.
And the Wiz.
The Wiz.
They were both.
That's right. Great jerseys.
Yeah.
Great jerseys.
And a lot of people did beat him. That's a New York reference. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I do. I remember.
Okay, it's a store.
I don't know if the joke was necessary, but
it was pretty cool for all my New York heads. What's up, bang bang?
So yeah, shout out to Matt Besler for that. So that was awesome. So let's talk about actually, when we did have the conversation with him, it was a bit surreal because we hadn't spoken to anybody who played in the Trinidad game, and I was getting a little emotional.
I almost
don't know about
didn't want you to ask the question because I was like, he was like, I mean, what else can be said? I was like, oh boy.
No, but I mean, look, if this is gonna be the gulliest soccer podcast, we're gonna have to ask some gully questions and get a little sensitive, get a little emotional. You know, it was a hard time for all of us, and I think we're getting to a point where we can speak to our, the men's team, those players that represent the country, and just say, hey, look, I know that you are sad.
Right.
I am also sad. We are sad.
We're sad together.
But we can move on from this.
Right. But also, I mean, it's like anything else, and this is like, I think, a very typical thing that we do, especially in American soccer, which is we try to sort of forget what happened that was negative as opposed to really, really getting in there and figuring out what went wrong.
Yeah.
It's easier to take the stance like Bruce Arena did after and just go, nah, we messed up. We fucked up a little bit, but you know what? Things happen. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Really? You wouldn't change anything.
Probably not the best approach. You know, that's probably not the best way to handle it, especially immediately after.
And then go on Fox Sports and double down and be like, no, you heard what I said. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing.
So, all right. So, so thank you again, man. That was great. So let's talk about. Do you want U.S. soccer? U.S. soccer first, and then we'll go into some of the MLS games because they were you know how we feel about international breaks. We don't care about you. All right. We play right through it.
We're like, yo, are you going to do your little thing? All right, well, those of you who want to go do that, go ahead. But just so you know, we're going to keep doing what we do right here.
Yeah, we may not have enough players to field the team, but we will continue with our scheduled fixture.
It's like a parent who's tired of their child being on the phone. No, go ahead and Snapchat all you want, but we are eating dinner. So when you come back, there may not be any left.
So the U.S. played against Brazil
Did we?
Friday night. I mean, they definitely,
I know we were all on the field together.
They definitely, Brazil let us go on the field for 90 minutes, which was really nice of them.
I think the most disrespectful thing is that one of the announcers were like, and, you know, Brazil didn't really need to play full steam. So they were just like, we'll kick it around a little bit. We'll score a couple goals.
Yeah.
We don't need to go crazy. We don't want to get injured. Meanwhile, our guys are just like pouring sweat in the 10th minute. Like, why are they all so fast?
The lineup that Brazil put out there
Full.
was just straight up. I mean, was it the World Cup final,
Yeah.
Brazil? Did you really?
That team would have only lost 5-1 to Germany. That's how strong they were.
Look, I mean, let me just rattle off some of the names.
I want you to think about how much these players are worth. as we say these
so
names.
much to just even show up.
Yeah.
So we had Neymar.
There you go.
Captain Neymar, who was assigned the captaincy. Neymar, Roberto Firmino, Douglas Costa.
There you go.
Coutinho,
That's just the front three.
Philip Coutinho, Casemiro, Fred. And this Brazilians, they don't even need two names. It's
They
just
could have put in Fred from the stands and still won this game.
Hey, Fred, come in here.
Some fat guy with a hot dog, huh? Me? Yeah, buddy, let's give it a go.
Felipe Luis, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, and Fabinho and Alisson. This was, I saw this lineup and I was like, why are we playing against the Monstars?
Yeah.
This is not,
Yeah.
is this Space Jam 2?
Are they allowed to have all of those players on the field at once?
Okay, they're not even following the MLS designated player rules.
I know, right?
This is ridiculous.
In fact, I suggest that that's how we play friendlies in our nation. Be like, you don't even got that much TAM, yo. You can't be doing that.
Ridiculous. Brazil trying to come out here without any GAM or TAM?
Yeah.
You can't field these guys.
Where's your youth transfer funds? Is he a young DP? A regular DP?
Absurd. And we'll go over the lineup for the U.S. Zach Steffen in goal, DeAndre Yedlin, Matt Miazga, John Brooks,
Anthony
Robinson, Will Trapp, the Trap God, Paul Arriola, Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Julian Green, and Wood up top.
Julian Green.
Julian, is that
I'm the announcer. Julian.
Okay.
Julian, Arlene, we all lean, everybody. In fact, maybe we should drink lean before this game to not remember being thrashed.
Okay, and all the women, you lean in. You got to lean in.
Yeah.
That's just very important for the future.
In fact, we should have let the women's national team play this game.
Look, I think they probably would have had a little bit more possession.
I think we would have been able to hold the ball for, I don't know, maybe 18, 90%.
Look, Brazil is very good.
Look, we asked for this.
Yes.
We as a nation.
We or you?
No, we as a nation asked for this. Play your kids and play them against really good competition. This is what we need. Watch the game tape from this and say, here's what we did right, and that'll take 30 seconds. And then here's what we did wrong, which should take us right up to the next World Cup. This is what we want. We're about to play Mexico tonight. You guys already heard it, or you saw it yesterday, last night, right? We're about to play England, Colombia. These are the things we want. We want these kids to get some real experience. Dude, Tim Weah did some stuff out there against his teammate Neymar, you know?
Sure.
That
he came in later in the game.
A little later in the game. Tyler Adams looked incredible in moments. These are the things these are the building blocks by which you build a great soccer player. If they would have gone out and won 2-0 against Brazil, that would have been amazing. But everyone would have said, like, oh, Brazil didn't even try. They were just running around. Yeah, we lost, but we didn't lose by A, that much. And B, this is what we wanted.
Yeah, so let's at least focus on the positives, right? What can we take from this and at least be happy about? For me, seeing...
We completed 90 without surrendering.
Look, for me, honestly, the fact that we only gave up 2 goals... That is a huge plus. We did not get embarrassed on the field and really just get played out of the park or anything like that. And really, honestly, I think it's a 1-0 result. That penalty was absurd.
A little soft.
A little soft is not even generous enough to
like a new pillow.
It was, look, Will Trapp did not make any, I'm not going to say make no contact, but did not make any real contact with Fabinho, who dove. It was just, so.
But we know that that's part of their game.
Sure.
Did you watch the World Cup, as DeAndre Yedlin said?
But that was probably,
that's a positive.
When we look at the positives, one of them was DeAndre Yedlin took a little jab at Neymar, fouled him.
Neymar hit the ground.
Hit the ground. He made a big scene out of it.
There you go.
And the ref is like, hey, you chill out. And DeAndre, first thing he says, he's just like, bro, you see what he's doing right now? Yeah. Did you watch the World Cup?
I'm gonna need to know if you know what happened in the World Cup before we just move on with the rest of this game.
Don't be mad at me, because if you I got receipts. I can send you the links.
Can we go to Exhibit A on the Jumbotron? MedLife.
What a great moment. I love, that's just another fun.
It's just like a slick way to being like, yo, he's a diver, but I don't want you to give me a yellow. So
yeah, he did.
Did you watch the World Cup? Wink, wink.
Great games out there, huh?
Yeah. What in particular comes to mind?
It was interesting, and you see that we know that referees can be influenced, right? And through players arguing with them, saying, like, you get in their head, and there's no way that doesn't get in the referee's head a little bit, right?
Of course.
It's just like, it's just one of the more clever ways.
It plants the seed of like, oh, I better not fall for this.
That's right. Yeah. And that's what Neymar is going to have to deal with going forward. I mean,
which I think is the Rafa Benitez effect. You know what I mean?
Why?
Rafa taught DeAndre Yedlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is how you be slick. Like, yo, don't go out there being all brutish, okay?
The response from Neymar was kind of, he did clap back. Did you see this?
Yeah.
He basically just said, like I don't sort of respect what he said or whatever, but I don't know the player well enough to know anything he's done. He just showed him, like, just basically, bro, I don't know you.
That's like when Leandro Barbosa tried to talk smack to Kobe, and Kobe goes, who? Like, I'm like, yo, that's a clapback of the year right there.
Right there. I mean, look.
He could have said, like, yeah, I did watch the World Cup, and I didn't see you, bruh. I didn't see you, DeAndre. He could have said all of that.
But also, you don't know DeAndre Yedlin?
Oh, yo, you know
DeAndre Yedlin. I mean, he plays for Newcastle.
You probably don't know DeAndre Yedlin.
I think, look,
he don't know
I'm gonna have to assume that the Premier League is the most watched league in the world.
Nah, he don't know DeAndre Yedlin. Yeah, it's the most watched league in the world. Not by Neymar. Neymar's not paying attention to all that.
Neymar's not paying attention to the Prem?
Not to Newcastle.
Okay.
He's paying attention to the teams that could pay him. So it means he only watches like 1 or 2 teams at all. He's thinking maybe Juventus. He might add Juventus to the...
Look, I understand it. Look, it's going to take more convincing for me to believe that Neymar actually does know DeAndre Yedlin than it is that he doesn't know him.
Nah, he don't know him.
But okay, that's fine. But overall, in this game, the fact that they didn't lose so badly, and I was at least my only concern is when the U.S. did have the ball, they really did not look comfortable. They looked nervous. Dave Sarachan did mention that after the game as well, and that was my only concern. I would hope that there would be more comfort in possession and a little bit more confidence, because to some degree it doesn't really matter who the hell's in front of you, right? Like, I mean, some players are good defensively, some are not. But Brazil are not necessarily known for being the most, like, tenacious defenders. But I think the stage, the team that they were playing against made them a little bit uncomfortable with all their touches. And they just kind of gave up the ball a little too easily for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's against Brazil.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
But not every.
They can easily keep possession from you. So when you have the ball, you're out of position a little bit because you're sort of, crowding around certain players. Every time Neymar touched the ball, it seemed like everyone ran towards him. So you're rushing to get back in position. People aren't always where they need to be. Do you follow the system at that point? Do you kind of go on instinct? Look, what I saw was players that weren't too comfortable playing with each other, but there's also really no way to prepare for. You can't call Charleston Battery in the practice against you and get, the same exact thing you're going to get from Neymar.
Doesn't Ronaldinho play there now?
Yeah, you're not going to get that. So no disrespect to Charleston Battery. That was just the name that popped in my head. Richmond kickers can't come in and duplicate what these guys do. So you're not going to be able to get someone that can, sort of prepare you. The only way to prepare is to play them. And, well, we're pretty prepared now. Pretty prepared to lose.
We are prepared for Mexico, right? So,
look, I think we walk away and say who played well and who didn't. Everyone is raving about Miazga and Brooks and that pairing. And I'll agree. I don't know how long Brooks has on the team, but clearly can be there through the next World Cup. If him and Miazga develop a really good pairing as a center back, that's a start. Anthony Robinson didn't collapse after he got burned for that first goal.
Yeah, that's not how you defend Douglas Costa.
No, it's not.
Try
staying in front of him, I think, is one way.
I mean, you do not barrel just straight into him and trying to get the ball because he is insanely fast. So Anthony Robinson was probably the only player that kind of, he made the mistake covering Douglas Costa, which led to the goal. I also don't know why is Roberto Firmino so wide open in the box. I mean,
but here's the thing: who could you leave open on that team? Even a little bit.
Yeah.
It seemed to me just from watching it that it seemed like Brazil players are really good at finding spaces. They seem to be putting themselves in these positions where they weren't. No, I couldn't really tell. Like, wait a minute, is that a midfielder or a forward? Like,
sure.
They were all just like sort of in these open spots.
You see Alisson Cruyff turning all day. Like, even the goalkeeper got techers. So it's look, obviously, yeah. There's not too much analysis that you can provide. They're just an outstandingly better team than the men's national team, and hopefully the players learned as much as they could. And going into hopefully this game against Mexico went very, very well because it's like they played against Brazil and now the Mexican team that they're up against is a lot of the younger guys. It's not a lot of the players from the World Cup. So I'm hoping that it was a positive result. So,
and look, Anthony Robinson had moments where he looked really good and had moments where he didn't look good. I blame you if he doesn't play well because he came through the Everton system.
That's right.
So we know that's Christian's fault.
He's playing at Wigan, though. So
he's on loan at Wigan.
Mostly Wigan's fault.
All right, we can blame them. I'm cool with that. Well, we're going to blame somebody as long as you're involved. Also, he was born and raised in England. His dad's from White Plains. Shouts to New York. Getting out there, right? Planting that seed all over the world, helping us develop youth players all around the world. Dad from White Plains, but my dude was raised in England.
Yeah.
England loves to make fun of us about soccer, homie. This is one of your peoples.
So we got an Englishman who's do you think he's a turncoat?
A little bit. What's the opposite of Benedict Arnold? Whatever that is.
I don't even know what point you're trying to make.
Yeah, because Benedict Arnold spied on America for England.
Oh, so like
he is the example of a traitor.
Okay.
What are you, a Benedict Arnold? To this day, whatever. Dom Dwyer. He's a Dom Dwyer. He out here playing for the U.S. with that cute ass English accent.
Yeah, I wonder why Dom Dwyer didn't get called up. Kind of a bit of a surprise. He
just came back from an injury.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He doesn't have that many caps.
All those important games for Orlando. They might make the playoffs next year.
Is he not in good form? I think he's. It would be nice to see him instead of Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood's he had a bunch of chances.
Bobby Wood was out there by himself, though. I'm not a big fan of the 4-1-4-1. Okay. What about you?
I'm not a fan of whatever happened at that game. I would like
if it happened in a game, it needs to never happen again.
I would like our team to just hold on to the ball and connect a couple of passes. There was really only like one or two sequences where there were a bunch of passes and connect and really had an opportunity for a goal. I mean, I don't even know how many shots did we end up getting.
I think 6, 7.
11 shots, 2 on target. I mean, that's not enough.
It's something.
Look,
it's Brazil.
I mean,
Brazil.
To their credit,
we're not Germany,
Good point. What the possession? 65% possession for Brazil. So
tough.
tough.
Did you hear about this new stat packing? Read about it on The Athletic, by the way.
Stat packing? What's that?
Just packing.
Oh,
Did you read about this new stat?
Oh, no, stat packing. I'm like,
Stat
okay, what
packing.
is
Have
this?
you heard about it?
Oh,
It's where you lie. You lie in the stat.
Padded the numbers? Wow.
No,
What is
it's packing is basically how many defenders your pass goes. How many you pass by sending a pass? Yeah, the word pass is being used many times here. How many defenders you clear with a pass? So if you're a forward and I'm a defender, and I look around and I send a good through ball to you all the way to the forward,
Sure.
We've passed 10 players. So my packing score goes up by 10. Have you heard about this?
Interesting.
You got to
So,
read the article in
who's
The Athletic.
I hear packing. I'm like, is Gunny involved?
I know,
What is this?
Gunny. Packing, we all packing. Our packing score is 100. It was some Germans invented it.
Okay.
But so I couldn't see the score because I don't pay for the stats because I'm not a team, so I'm not going to be able to afford that. But
Okay.
I was looking at some of the plays from the replay of the highlights of how many of our passes cleared the lines or clear how many defenders. Our packing score would have not been much. We were doing a lot of triangle passes, trying to keep the defenders sort of off their play
keep
on their
them
heels.
moving. Yeah.
It wasn't working too well.
Yeah.
We were doing a lot of sideline passes, a lot of flanks.
Yeah, it's like how is our packing score negative?
Yeah.
we just
Constantly passing to the keeper.
to the keeper. Right?
Well, you do something with it. We got nothing to do with it out here.
Yeah, can you send some through balls, Stefan? Anyway,
Sarah, can you get out here? It seems like maybe you got some ideas.
Okay.
What do you think about Saracen? If he would have won this game, would you have wanted him to continue being the men's national team coach beyond? Or what about the rest of these games? What if he beats Mexico? What if he beats Colombia? And what if he beats the almighty England?
I'm honestly, if Dave Saracen was the coach going forward, and I'm basing this off of the responses I'm hearing from other players. Like Tim Weah speaks very highly of Dave Saracen, and he said he's very much like this father figure, and really looks after.
And we met him. He's like a sweetheart.
He's a father figure to us.
Yeah,
you know,
we didn't have one, so we're collecting them as we go.
He's our Rochester dad.
Yeah,
so we love him and we embrace him. So
we honor him by eating garbage plates.
It is. Look, I'll speak objectively. I sort of feel like I would be fine with Dave Saracen at the helm. That's just how I feel objectively. But I would understand, and if there's someone with a better resume, that it would make
clearly not going to
make more sense. But subjectively, as an individual, on a personal level, we've met him. He's been on the show. He's very nice to us. So I'm like, he has the job forever. He's a permanent guy. That's which is not fair.
Just please always be a part of our lives, Dave Saracen.
That's the main.
I want him to lose the job just so he can come on the show and be as brutally honest as he really wants to be.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, you have.
I'm sure he's not on board with my plan.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like, yeah, man, maybe I should get rid of this job so I can go on the Cooligans once.
You have ulterior motives, and very different than mine. So, let's talk about some of the MLS matches that happened over the weekend as well. There were 3 matches, one that we attended.
Yes.
New York City. Let's start with New York City FC against DC United.
NYC once again just limping into the playoffs. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of the last 8 games, we have 4 losses, 3 draws, and a win.
Yes, it hasn't been great. But in this game, we got to see Wayne Rooney for the first time, right in front of our eyes.
6 points out of the last 8 games.
It's not good.
That's not good.
So we did get to see Wayne Rooney play, and I think you got there a little bit late, but
not my fault. The trains,
bro. That's why you need to be riding with
the MTA, yo.
Relax, okay, Alexis. This is not the place for this.
Yeah.
That's you need to be riding with David Moyes. He knows how to get around the city.
David Moyes got there just fine.
He wasn't complaining about anything. But Wayne Rooney, about 3-4 minutes in, already had an opportunity for a bicycle kick. He missed it, but I'm just like, damn, Rooney, I just got here.
Damn, son. Why don't you take it easy a little bit? Huh?
Okay.
Let's ease into this.
You haven't even been in America that long. Just slow down. It was cool to see him play, and seeing him in person. Yankee Stadium was full with how many Everton fans, Manchester United fans. It was cool to see, but they, him and DC United, it was cool to see them in person because I was curious how DC United was going to, play against NYCFC, play on that smaller pitch, and how he was going to sort of handle everything. And I think NYCFC handled Rooney pretty well. He didn't really get too many touches. And when he did, he didn't have too much time to set anybody else up. There was a couple good passes here and there, but overall, this game was just more disappointing for NYCFC than it was for DC United.
Yes and no. I mean, they did come back, but at some point, you got to not have to come back. I mean, Sean Johnson letting that header off the free kick.
From, was it Birnbaum, I think.
Birnbaum. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, he hasn't looked great in the past year. He's had moments where he's been...
Birnbaum or Johnson?
Both.
Okay.
I'm talking about Johnson. If you're NYCFC, this isn't... You shouldn't have to do this to win.
No.
Everyone talks about, what was it, 28 shots?
This game had 31 shots and 9 on target for NYCFC. And it had 2 shots for DC United with 1 on target that they'd obviously go in.
This is what I think the third straight game where we have like over 25 shots. NYCFC has over 25 shots.
Yeah.
Son, I mean, yeah, I get it. That sounds like, oh, look at this. Look how much they have the ball. A lot of these teams don't want to have possession anyway. And a lot of these shots are coming from, God knows where, or they're all coming off of crosses, constant crosses back and forth. When we don't even have that many tall forwards.
Sure, that it is a fair point. It's hard to be angry at the team because of when you see
inefficiency and effectiveness. What is it? What is it that a fan shouldn't be upset about here?
No. It's hard to be angry specifically about their attacking and their possession because they seemingly NYCFC does everything right. They have the ball all the time. They are getting opportunities, but frankly, they're just missing their chances. Maxi Morale is missing that chance when off a cross and the ball's right in front of him, and he just. I think the rain was a big factor. The fact that there were a lot of skipped balls and weird shots, and
but those are that's part of the game, though. I mean, weather comes into it. That's not the first rain game
and
also
all season. Part of the game is possessing the ball and getting a lot of shots and creating chances. They did a lot of it.
And I get that 3 of their top 5 players weren't in the game.
Yes.
David Villa, though, getting the ball practically standing next to Sean Johnson is not a good sign. This guy's got to go like, homie, what are you doing back here? Yo, Capitan, get out of here.
I think there were a lot of factors. I mean, Alex Ring didn't play this game.
Dude, DC didn't even want the ball. DC wasn't even trying.
But Alexander Ring, so James Sands started his second game in a row and took that, basically played the Ring position. And he is good at, I would say, defensively, he's a safe bet. Like you're not putting the team necessarily at risk. But Alex Ring is a great passer. He's a really good passer. And James Sands is not that yet. And I think that was a factor in the buildup for the team.
Yeah, all right. We're playing a team that's not even in the playoffs.
Okay.
They're playing better.
They were dominant. I mean, look, they were wildly dominant over DC had 2 shots. That's a good performance, at least defensively.
And when their one shot went in, when their first shot went in,
sure,
they were ahead 1-0.
Correct. Yes, Alexis. You're right.
So I don't understand what you're complaining about. I mean, what you're glowing about here.
I'm saying I'm not glowing about anything. The last 2 games, the loss against New England, I think is worse than this, but because they had 28, 27 shots.
This is a perpetuation of the same thing. This is a continuation of the ills, and those ills need to be resolved. This is not how. This is like Jason Christ. This is not how you end the season. This is the worst. I think I've read somewhere this is the worst stretch since the Jason Christ era.
Yes,
son. What was Vieira doing differently? Look, I will say I'm more entertained by the style of play they have now versus what they did under Vieira. Vieira was very methodical. It was very frustrating. I'm like, quit making that same pass, and look at this guy's open. Finally, I've seen someone on the far post. They happen to be 4'8" and can't really get that ball in that header. Sorry, Moxie, I love you, but finally there's someone on the far post. But to sit here and say, oh, but it was the rain and it was this and it was that is probably just as much bullshit as me saying it was the trains. You know what I mean? It really was, by the way.
I'm just trying to at least figure out a reason why they weren't finishing their chances. But
forget that reason. 3 games ago, Dome Torrent said, oh, I like the way we're playing. If we keep playing like this, we're going to do well. Well, homie, it hasn't happened. And look, I'm not saying Dome needs to be fired. This team needs to be chopped apart. But look, V is not coming back next season.
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know that, but I'm telling you right now, he's not. The rumor came out. They tried to say nothing happened. I'm telling you, the guy's not coming back, right? So
I don't know, right? Don't say that.
Look,
Look, there's clearly rumors that he may not come back, but there's nothing definitive about that.
Is there something definitive that he has a contract extended past this year?
No.
Okay, and has he signed?
So why are you saying he's definitely
as of right now? He's not because he hasn't signed. As of right now, he is not coming back next season.
Okay, but just be careful with your words because some people.
Because what? This is what the show is for. Is idiotic pontification. Look, at the end of the day, as of right now, he's not coming back next season. We're going to be stuck with guys like, and this is a positive, we're going to be left with guys like Tajiri Shradi, a great scorer. We're going to be left with guys like Maxi Morales, hopefully has like another year or two in him. Guys like Alex Ring, guys like Matarita, who's now developing into, I guess, more of a wing back under Dome Torrent. And we're going to be stuck with Dome Torrent. We're going to be stuck with guys that can play in the system, and they're going to be stuck with guys that are developing the system, like Dome Torrent and his staff. But we need to look at what's happening on the field and say, is this the right system? Do we need to go back to what happened before? Is there a way we blend the last two? What's happening right now is not good enough. If we get into the playoffs and Medina gets injured, if he's staying, right? And Tajiri Shradi gets injured, and this is the squad we put up, and Amagat is sending passes to people that aren't there when he's a legend at Heat owner. When you got guys like Castellanos who are like, oh, I really gave it a go on that one. Yeah, you hit the back of the net off of a cross, bruh. And you only got 1 foot on you, so if you're going to use that one, use it well. I'm not saying that these guys don't have talent. I'm saying if these are the players you're stuck with going into the playoffs, are you happy? I don't think NYCFC fans are really all that excited. Maybe you change your tactics when this is the squad.
I will say the one complaint that I can have as a fan is Jonathan Lewis should be playing more minutes. That's that.
Well, what happened with this whole thing? So you were handling the tweets when this all happened. People got upset that he left in regular clothing, holding a pizza.
Yes, I thought you would be happy about that. But
well, I mean, what kind of pizza was it? If you got it from Yankee Stadium, which I assume he did, then it's Papa John's. In that case, I'm not happy.
So, but it's interesting, right? Because when Christian Roldan of Seattle,
and he does look like he put on weight,
having. What are you like? Is this the E network all of a sudden?
I am fat shaming. I don't know if he put on muscle weight. I'm saying he looks like he's been in the gym.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's fair. But Christian Roldan has a pizza and he doing interviews and everybody's like, oh, this how cool this is. He's so down to earth. He's one of us.
Are you talking about someone who's been played for the national team and does really well for his team? Now we're talking about Jonathan Lewis, a guy who's not getting any burn.
Some people don't know what happened, but after the game,
everyone's supposed to leave in a suit.
This is like a new thing. They partnered with I forgot what company.
Hugo Boss, maybe?
I don't know who. And they're going to be so all the players are coming out in suits, and Jonathan Lewis did not do that. And the reason he didn't do that was because he had another obligation with the team where he was not required to wear a suit, and apparently
you wear team like sweats and stuff.
And the team like administrator told him he doesn't have to wear a suit. And then people saw him amongst all the other players without a suit and said, hey, why is he not like? I guess they took it as a character issue when that wasn't what the case was, based on all the reports that I'm hearing. So to me, I don't know if there's an issue with Jonathan Lewis. I know that he was. What's the word? Not punished, but you know what I mean. He was just Vieira.
Disciplined.
Disciplined, yes. Vieira was a little bit.
He was spanked. He was spanked by Vieira.
But in front of the entire team, which I thought was not the right way to handle it.
But turns out he enjoyed it. So all is forgiven, I guess.
So we know. I think it was because he might have been late to a meeting, and that hurt him in the beginning of the year. He really missed out on a lot.
And then it took a while to build that trust up with someone like Vieira.
Yes, and. I don't know if that's going on now. That doesn't sound like it's the case with Turan. He doesn't speak negatively about him at all.
No, he actually said he's a great young player.
But I don't understand the choice to, especially in this game, to not make a sub until the 75th, almost 80th minute. when all you need, when you're clearly attacking and you're pushing other men forward, and it was just Ibiaga just hanging out back there on his own because DC United had no interest in moving forward with the ball.
Our formation on attack, or NYCFC's formation on attack, was a 5.
Yes, it was just
like
one.
5.
It was just
like 1-5-4.
It was just Sebi, yo, handle everything back there. We got everything up here. We're just sending.
Maybe I got it.
It was just an infantry up front, just going forward, and Ibiaga,
which is really smart to do on a small pitch. You just have everyone in one area. A lot of space in between.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Jonathan Lewis seems to be that offensive spark every time he's there. He almost scored the second he got on the pitch.
He's a bit of a lightning rod for the team because everything he does on the pitch seems like everyone excites everyone, but then off the pitch seems like he pisses people off.
Outside of that, I think NYCFC is doing everything right. Look, this is not good enough, obviously, to get 31 shots and not get more than one goal, but you can't argue with these particular performances
because 28 or 31 shots with one goal and off of a free kick is
the
not
results,
good.
You can be mad at the results, but the performance they're
no,
trying.
That is not good. I don't understand why you think that that's a positive.
31 shots against 2. Against the opposing team, and that's not
31
enough.
shots, and you only score once off of a free kick, off of a masterful free kick, is not a good sign.
I agree.
That is how many missed shots?
Of course, it's not a good sign. Of course, it's not.
30 missed shots in a game. That is not a good sign.
It's of course because they did not win. But if they win 2-1 and they get 35 shots, you're not making this argument.
100% I am. After I celebrate the win,
I totally doubt it.
I literally have done it on this podcast.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So we agree to disagree. Anyway, all right. DC United, but given how bad NYCFC may have been, DC United were horrendous. That is not a kind of performance you want, especially from a team that is fighting for a playoff spot. That it's worse for them. They really needed the 3 points, and the fact that they can only get 2 shots is it looks even worse for them. So anyway, all right, let's move on to the next game. Sporting Kansas City played against Orlando City. Not too much to say here.
Why are we even talking about it?
We're talking about it because there were only 3 games.
I know, honestly. And we just spoke to a Sporting Kansas City player.
And who did play that game and got a clean sheet. So props to you.
I thought Dom Dwyer was going to come home, score some buckets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He tried.
But Tim Miller was like,
Tim Miller's like, I remember you, bro. I ain't letting this happen.
I don't care where you put the line in your hair.
Yeah.
I recognize you.
Oh, your Listerine commercials are mad cute, bro, but you ain't scoring right now.
Yes, Tim Miller did get a clean sheet. And early in the game, that chance for Dom Dwyer, one-on-one against his homie, Timmy. It's hard to figure out should Dom Dwyer do better, or was Tim Melia just that good in those?
I think it's a combination of both, but I think it's also that, if you're the Sporting Kansas City backline, you look forward to a game against Orlando because they have one weapon, and most of the time they're just going to go long into him. So just get a fast guy to kind of track him.
I think Orlando's. I mean, we've spoken about them ad nauseum on this show, and it's like we just how much can we pile on a team? It's just
let's keep going.
They just keep losing. Especially when you see a game like this and it's on the road at Kansas City. I'm like, I'm impressed they only lost 1-0. That's really where I am right now and how I feel about Orlando. So
what surprised me about Orlando? They have 24 points on the season. That's not the worst. They're tied with Chicago Fire and Colorado Rapids for second worst, which, God, what a fall from grace for Chicago. But San Jose has only 20 points. Don't you feel like even if San Jose is the worst team in the league, that Orlando still deserves the wooden spoon? Doesn't it feel like that?
Sure. I mean, no, not exactly, because we know that that wooden spoon has to be earned. You can't. You don't just give it.
You don't just give it. But maybe we should get like a little ladle.
Look,
a little ladle for
still
the easy team. Remember, like in high school, there was that person of the opposite sex, whoever you are, that you were like, oh, you need a rebound. That's the one you go to, and they got you. Maybe you don't remember that from high school, but
no, I'm still a virgin.
Still a virgin. When you do, that beard is going to come in nice and thick, and we're going to get reviews like, yes, more Cooligans. But I feel like that's Orlando. Like, yes, San Jose is not a great team. Chicago Fire is not a great team. Colorado Rapids is not a great team. But it feels something like those teams can pull it out at some point.
Yeah.
Orlando is just perpetually bad.
Yeah.
It's just nothing's working. Nobody wants to be there. It's just just the fans. The fans still support. Shouts to the fans.
Yeah, they show up.
They still show up.
The players don't.
What's that chant like? We fucking suck. We fucking suck.
That's the chant.
Fucking suck. Like that chant. That is. They got to be singing that. I mean, they're supporting the team when the team's not supporting them at all. I feel like we need a secondary award. I know we have the worst, which is the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
We need something like, yo, your season was trash.
Your season was trash award. It ain't spoon worthy, but it's definitely trash worthy.
It wasn't the worst, but it was trash. We got to have like a little garbage can that we send.
A little wastebasket.
A little wastebasket.
No, I mean, a lot of teams
we'll put
are fighting for that trash.
We'll put the schedule in there.
So it's hard to say.
I think, I hate to say it because I love Step and I love, some of the fans out there in Chicago. But, Chicago Fire, yeah, maybe. But I think Orlando, man, with all the money they spent, all the promise they had.
It looks worse for Orlando. The new stadium,
especially because they went that like 6-game win streak when everyone thought like it was
this is MLS 3.0, right? All the new teams they get a little bit of a surge and advantage. There's more money, expansion draft. They get
a couple more, a bit more TAM.
Yeah, so it's the fact that this is
like the mafia when you come back out of jail. Everybody gives you a little bit of money. It puts you right on your feet.
Yes, look, and you're not the first person to compare MLS to the mafia, right?
No, I'm not. Probably the first one to do it without screaming or crying.
But the hope is, Orlando. I don't know what there's a couple games left. How many games do they have left?
I think it's like 4. Who cares?
They but they have 5 or 6 games left, something like that. So they look. Everybody's looking forward to next year. I don't know what the change is going to be. Who is it? O'Connor, James O'Connor, is the
coach.
The coach, who. There's a great photo of him.
Whoever owns the closest liquor store to him is making money. That's for sure. The guy's like, I need another whiskey.
Well, there's a great photo of him at training, and he's Irish, right? He's Irish, so he has to wear like a big old hat to keep the sun out of his face so he doesn't burn. He just looks so silly. It's somewhere online. I saw it the other day, but it's super funny. So let's move on. Sporting Kansas City, they got to go from Felipe Gutierrez, who is finally back. He had an injury. He was their designated player. And Sporting Kansas City, they had a stretch of a couple games where they were just missing out on opportunities to score. And the fact that they have him back looks like they are. That's the photo.
Is that real? Yo, this dude looks like a beekeeper.
He's a beekeeper. Yeah. He has a hat, and
he has like a balaclava, it looks like a hoodie that you put on any shirt you want.
Yeah.
It's covering
and it's covering his face and neck. He has to protect his neck. Look.
You best protect your neck.
All right.
This can't be real, but there are multiple photos of him wearing what only I can explain it is a very oversized bucket hat. This is so embarrassing. You just can't have this. He looks like a black lady going to church. Yo.
Okay.
You can't have this.
Look,
this is like The Office from England. It's like a character from that.
Look. Some people's pigment on their skin doesn't have as much melanin, so they have to protect themselves from the sun because it could be much more harmful than it would be for you or I.
I get the excuse and the reason.
So
he did this back in Louisville City. How did they win?
It's like, how do you take this guy seriously?
This can't be real. Well, this photo's from Louisville.
Yeah.
I see it in the background. But he did this at...
He's done this at Orlando, too.
He's doing this at Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's bringing the same Louisville hat.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's funny. If you haven't seen these photos, just look up James O'Connor. What'd you Google?
I put James O'Connor hat Orlando City.
And there's a bunch of them there. They're very funny.
No.
So let's talk about the last game in Major League Soccer. Portland Timbers against the Colorado Rapids. They seem to. This was a weird international break. They were like, you know what? Let's put the worst teams playing against really good teams.
Let's see what happens when the teams that are supposed to win by a lot.
Portland wins this game 2-0, and not a huge surprise.
Ebobisse?
Ebobisse gets to the start.
Ebobisse?
Ebobisse.
Ebobisse.
I think we had this conversation before. Ebobisse, yeah. And goals from Ebobisse and Diego Valeri, but Ebobisse is like...
Well, both of them got goals called off.
Yes.
Because of offside. But Ebobisse goes back and scores basically the exact same goal.
Yeah.
Like, you tried to stop me the first time, dog. I said I want to score this way. Is that his first MLS goal?
This year.
This year.
Nah, he scored one last year, I believe. One.
He's a kid, too. That's awesome.
He's a kid, so he's been ripping it up in Timbers, too.
Yeah.
And we were joking around before about who should get an opportunity to play because at forward, there aren't, besides Armenteros.
Who hasn't scored in a while.
He hasn't scored in a while.
Come on, Cuba.
And Asprilla, who I have conversations with Eric Keating all the time. He's my go-to Portland Timbers.
He is our Portland Timbers fan.
And Asprilla is not really a center forward, and he's not gonna, especially since Adi left, finding a second person to be an option. Armenteros is not definitively that replacement for Adi, I think.
No, the one thing I like about Gio Savarese, he's like, I'm just going to ride the hot hand. If you play well in training and you're not playing well in the 90, then the person who's playing well in training is going to get in there. And I got to be honest, I got a lot of respect for the guy. I may not love his tactics. I may not understand his tactics. Mm-hmm. It may come across as complete bedlam to me. But he seems to be one of those guys that's like, if you do well, you will get minutes. Yeah. And Ebobisse is playing really well. That dude deserves minutes, and that dude is out there to score and score only, and I love that kid.
He does have that, especially the goal that he scored was just like when you score against Colorado, it feels like you shouldn't be that happy. A lot of people have done that.
Don't tell anybody about it.
But he was really proud and happy, and he celebrated the goal like it was like a 95th minute winner. You know what I mean?
Right.
But seeing how well has played, especially at Timbers 2, it is kind of ridiculous that he hasn't gotten more opportunities. So hopefully it's towards the end of the year. I don't know if is he going to be on like the playoff roster? Does he trust them that much?
If he continues to, I have a feeling that Gio Savarese is obviously going to watch him in training, but he's going to continue to play him, and until he doesn't play this well, so it's up to him whether he makes that playoff roster. That's the feeling I get from seeing how Savarese handles his business.
Yep.
If you play well, you stay on the team. Ebobisse, it's up to you, dog. You want to be on that? You want to be in the playoffs? Dog, you got to play well.
Playoffs?
We're talking playoffs.
So it is coming up soon, so it's exciting. So I'm sure we'll get those in-depth analysis that you expect from the Cooligans.
We're gonna be talking about all your missed shots, dog.
So the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is the Philadelphia Union announced a new mascot. That's really the only thing that we have to get to because this caused a whole stir on the internet.
Because it's not really a snake, because it's got legs and arms. Bro, what'd you want the guy to do? Just crawl across the floor?
Suspend disbelief for a second.
He's also wearing a jersey. It's cool. You're cool. He's also got a gold mohawk. You cool with all that? Also, he was Millie rocking. And that's okay for a snake to do? But it's the arms and legs. Someone's like, it's a salamander.
I'm just saying, if it was regular snakes can't Millie rock.
No.
Because they don't got no arms and legs.
They ain't got no arms and
Millie
legs.
rocks look terrible.
By the way, here's what the truth is. It's not a snake. It's not a salamander, right? It's a snake that ate a human. And that human's arms and legs are sticking out of the body.
Is that the official?
No, that's what I just made up. But doesn't that sound dope as shit?
What a backstory.
Now, everybody likes Fang, you know what I mean?
Fang is spelled Phang.
Because Philadelphia is spelled PH.
I know that.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I'm like, but I hope this brings back words like that.
Like
how about
fat?
Fat. PHAT.
Pretty hot and tempting.
All right. Fang is pretty fat.
Yeah. Fang's fat.
Fang's fat.
Also, let's bring back when fat was positive. Let's do that. Could really help my career.
Or just be thin and beautiful.
Boring.
Boring. Who wants to get there?
Healthy?
All right. That's the end of the show. I want to make sure we thank.
Hold on. Let's see if we're smart or stupid. What do you think happened in the U.S.-Mexico game last night?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's a draw.
Oh, I didn't even tell you this.
Wow.
Jonathan Gonzalez came out, and he's eating pizza. Jonathan Lewis, he probably spit his pizza out when he heard this. Jonathan Gonzalez came out and said he made the perfect decision picking Mexico over U.S.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
Mad, disrespectful, and I hope somebody two-foot you, and that slows down your career just a little bit, my guy. You're born and raised in California, dog. Don't you come at us like that. I get it. You're on a better team now, dog. Have some class. Watch your mouth. You shut up when you speak into us.
I mean, it is the Mexican national team. I mean, maybe it's a bit, maybe it hurts our feelings to hear that, but, you know, I think when he has the choice of, oh, look, this team didn't even make the World Cup, didn't get to represent the country.
That's not fair, because Zusi saved Mexico and got them in the World Cup last time.
Okay.
Before that. So Mexico almost missed the World Cup if it wasn't for us playing our asses off when it wasn't needed. Hold on a second. And then my dude goes, now I'm happy that I'm here. I decided because of the structure, everything Mexico brings from the youth teams to the first team. I think it's exceptional, the history there is. And above all, because I am Mexican. Bruh, you was raised here, okay? Look, I'm Cuban. I'm all about it. But what happens? You're Dominican, right? What happens when you leave the U.S.? Let's say you're in England and someone says, what are you? What do you say?
I mean, I'll say I'm from New York.
You're an American.
Yeah, I'm an American. Yeah.
When you leave this country, America. So right now you in Mexico? You ain't Mexican, bro. You ain't raised. And guess what? They're gonna treat you that way pretty soon. Right now, you brand new. You a new shiny toy. They're like you in the defensive midfield. Watch what happens when you've been around a little bit. Hey, yo, Americano, yo, gringo, what's up? Watch. I ain't playing with you. And also, because of the structure, dog, you got something to say about our structure? Why don't you be constructive? You know when you give an exit interview in a company, it was because your boss or something that you left?
Sure.
And you're like, look, now that I'm leaving, I could tell you exactly what's going on. Here's what's wrong. There's no, there's no camaraderie. There's no this, there's no that. Bruh, be constructive. Don't just sit here and talk all this great shit about Mexicans. Fuck out of here, yo. Who are you? Dog, you were developed here. You were developed here. Why don't you say thank you? We gave you the chance to play for Mexico. You there because of us. Why don't you say thank you? Now, I made the perfect decision. Mad disrespectful. You didn't get divorced. You ain't your ex-wife. You think you gonna come back here? You think you're gonna come back here and buy your little house here? Why don't you go live in Sinaloa? See how that goes for you.
Yep, Maradona's going to be there. It's going to be a good time.
A lot of blow around. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be a bit of a party. Invite us. We'll bring Gunny. We might need Gunny's whole family if we go into Sinaloa. All I'm saying is you got a lot of balls talking all this shit about America now that you with that new squad. Remember the old car you used to love? Huh? Now you got yourself a new Benz. It's great, right? But what happened? What happened to the old joint? You used to love it. It helped you. It got you everywhere you needed to go before. And now it's a piece of trash?
What?
Fuck out of here. Have some respect, bruh.
He did. I don't think he said all those things.
I'm reading between the lines. What I'm doing is I'm packing. I'm going beyond what he said.
He is happy with the decision he made. I don't think he put down the U.S. as much as you think he did.
When you do that in spite of us.
Okay.
And what did I say? We here now.
That's right.
You don't get to do that because we're here now. Everybody's going to write the little think pieces with all their big words. Everybody's going to have some
but
constructive
Alexis
shit
ain't
to say.
thinking, all right?
Nah, son,
I'm just talking.
I put no thought to any of this. I'm out here sprat. Everybody gets it. We're using shotguns, bro. We ain't aiming. We spraying. And what? You in our sight lines, my guy. Don't you dare. All of a sudden, you get to Mexico and you get to say whatever you want. And by the way, I love the country of Mexico. I got friends in Mexico. I'm not saying talking shit about Mexico. I'm just saying, how dare you? If a Mexican dude did this shit, if he came here and started talking all this slick shit about Mexico, best believe they'd have something to say. Well, I'm the guy, and Christian's the dude, even though he hasn't said anything. We're the guys that got something to say. I got something to say for you right now, dog. That's not the way you do that shit. Have some class, my guy, because guess what? This shit gonna get handled on the field. Somebody gonna take you out. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if I got to do it as a streaker. And, bro, I hope you close to the sidelines because I didn't think I got that much gas in the tank to get to you. All I'm saying is someone going to take you out for talking slick like that. That's not what you do to the country that developed you, bro.
Well, I thought he didn't say anything offensive. So to wrap up the show, I just wanted to say thank you again to people who signed up for Gully Squad. That means the world to us. And again,
please tell your friends.
Helping us.
Jonathan Gonzalez, join up to the Gully Squad.
This is for
you might change my opinion. You know what I mean?
Please support the Cooligans.
Jonathan Lewis, sign up for Gully Squad. It'd be awesome.
And yes, and we're gonna be getting real soon to that second episode and be able to do more for you guys.
Yeah, the more of you guys join up, the closer we get to that second
thank you.
episode, we would love it. We've tried to convince our studio to let us in here another day a week. It'll be really cool to be able to do stuff like this.
So thank you again. Thank you for all the support. I hope you had a good time. Hopefully your workday went by a little bit faster.
Hopefully that little Guerrero ran at the end helped you out.
Well, little? Anyway. So with that said, my name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerrero.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!
What's up? It's the world champion, Judah Friedlander, and you're watching the Cooligans. Why? Because you're cool. This is what winners look like right here, man.
I mean, you're looking at us.
Right now with my legs, I just juggled the ball 80,000 times.
You missed it.
Yeah.
He's been playing keepy uppy since I met him.
Yep, look faster, guys.
Go Team USA.